Soccer team are in charming Genoa, birthplace of explorer Christopher Columbus and Italy's biggest seaport. It's a city of 600,000 people on the northwest coast, and 4 times world champions Italy have never lost here in 20 games. Can Jurgen Klinsmann's improving US team break that run? Italian-based Michael Bradley, perhaps a key player tonight. It's a long way from home for these fans, but they live in hope of a dramatic win. The setting is the unique and atmospheric Stadio Luigi Ferraris here in Genoa, which staged 4 games at Italia 90, the 1990 World Cup, including a couple of shock wins for a CONCACAF nation in Costa Rica. Hello and welcome. I'm Ian Dark with our leap year birthday boy, Taylor Twellman. Happy birthday, Taylor.
Thank you very much. 8 years old.
Yeah, you don't look it even. But what about, we're talking about leaps. What about a leap in class here for the United States? Wouldn't it be something if they could get a result away to Italy?
Sure. And when you hear Jurgen and his staff talking, and they talk about reality checks and testing themselves on the road, well, it's France and Paris, it's Belgium and Brussels, and it's Italy and Italy. It's a great opportunity tonight for the players collectively and individually to see where they're at.
What about Italy? Well, they're a hard nation to beat, but America do have a striker in very hot form in Clint Dempsey. He's on fire, isn't he?
I'd say he's on fire.
Yeah.
16 goals in all competitions for Fulham, but it was the game in November against Slovenia where Clint was at his best, finding those spaces in front of the back four, turning, taking players on, and getting on the end of crosses. Tonight, he's got to be active, on the ball consistently, linking up with Josie Altidore if the U.S. want to come here and surprise the Italians.
And Clint Dempsey is our Gatorade Prime to perform player tonight. As for Italy, World Cup flops, but unbeaten all the way through their European Championship qualifying group. And their new wave includes a rather special player.
Yeah, and a little one. He's listed only at 5'5", 130, but Sebastian Giovinco is special. He's got an uncanny ability to know when, that understanding, when to combine with the player top of the box or when to take players on one-on-one and get a shot. The U.S. got their hands full with Sebastian tonight.
And a special night, too, for America's Michael Bradley, Italian-based now at Chievo Verona. Big hit there. They're calling him General Bradley. An Italian job for him tonight out here in what is a key game for him. On the other side of the break, Bob Lee with Steve McManaman and Alexi Lalas with their pre-match comments.
I'm a satellite dish. The only reason you got me was to watch soccer. But for today's game, I'm a little fuzzy, so you tried to fix me. But you just made me loose. Newsflash. If you have cut rate insurance, you might not be covered for this. So get Allstate and protect your house and car from mayhem like me.
Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate.
I saw the lack of focus, the burgers, the fries, goofing off. Then I saw the change. I saw him commit to eating properly and training harder. And then I saw him become the fastest swimmer in the world.
Trying to get this. Lochte in front. Lochte the gold and the world record.
You win from within.
Sunday, built to strike, built to attack, built for speed, built for the hunt, built to feast, built to chomp. Predators aren't born, they are built for the kill. All week long, starting Sunday at 9 on Nat Geo Wild, channel 283.
I'm serious. We compare our direct rates side by side to find you a great deal, even if it's not with us.
Oh, that's helpful.
Well, our company does that too. Actually, we invented that. It's like a sauna in here.
Helping you save even if it's not with us. Now that's progressive. Call or click today.
No más pantalones.
The United States and Italy, the familiar sight of Tim Howard in goal today for the United States. USA and Italy. It is exactly 100 days until the beginning of both the European Football Championships and World Cup qualification. for the United States of America. And good day. I'm Bob Lee, with me, Alexi Lawless, Steve McManaman. We put the band back together from Johannesburg. Good to see. All right, here we are with a great opportunity for the USA. 7 months into the age of Jurgen Klinsmann, with a chance to see he's got 3 of his discovery players, if you will, in the lineup today. What does the United States need to prove today?
You know, I think if you're a U.S. fan and you're watching this game today, this is what you should expect. 7 months ago, Jurgen Klinsmann promised a change in style and a change in mentality. And to borrow his phrase, a more proactive U.S. team.
Have we seen it?
I don't think we have seen it yet. So when you're watching this game, here's a couple of examples. It's not necessarily the final score, but coming out of the back. A commitment to possession, even possession under pressure, to come out of the back consistently and to do it again and again and again and to be successful with it. And then up top, where are they pressuring up top? Are they winning balls in advantageous areas upfield that they can then turn into offensive opportunities?
Talk about advantageous opportunity.
I know.
I'm not going to mention advantageous areas.
Well, it's a big chance for the United States today because they've never defeated Italy. They're playing Italy in a stadium where Italy have never lost.
Yeah, and I agree with Alexi. This is a big game for them, and it's a very difficult game. We know how strong the Italians are. We know how strong they are at home. They have not let a goal in during the qualifications. So this is a big test for them. And I just want to see some positive moves. They played a decent game against France in Paris, but they lost. They were very good away at Slovenia. This is another step up. And I want to see if they can adapt and if they can make problems for this Italian defence.
And if you're going to make fundamental change, then Jurgen Klinsmann was not brought in to beat the CONCACAF teams. He was brought in to find a way to get over that hump, to be able to be competitive against the elite in the world. And Italy is one of them.
This is why he has said, even before he took the match and took the job, I want to schedule matches like this. But goes into this match today without Landon Donovan. He's back in the States with bronchitis. Jozy Altidore, he'll be supported, of course, by the incredible play of Clint Dempsey. But there's Altidore, had 2 goals Sunday, but has not been a consistent starter for his team in the Netherlands.
Yeah, it's been an interesting year for Jozy Altidore. He has scored goals, okay? But he has gone through a period where, once again, he's been put under pressure to perform, and to perform during training, and obviously to perform in the game. And that's a good thing. And I think Jozy has matured, but still, when we see him out there, especially when he's up there in the lone striker role, he's got to be able to take that pressure, to be able to have that ball, hold the ball up, and then have that Clint Dempsey running in underneath him.
Have you seen enough from him to convince you he can do that?
Recently, yes. I mean, I've seen him in games, and he's been a bit hit and miss. Bob, he has. But recently, against decent sides, he's been able to do it, and that's why today is a big test for him. As Alexi said, he's big, he's strong, he's aggressive, he's quick. If he can hold the ball, bring people into the game, get wingers going wide, and then get into the box, this is a big, big test for him. It's better playing against the wonderful defenders of the Italian national side than, with all respect, lesser teams in the CONCACAF. This is a big, big learning curve, and he has to improve, because he's been an international player for a long time.
One of the guys that will be linking up with him if the USA are able to get it going, Breck Shea, who 48 hours ago was with the U.S. Olympic team, but because of Landon Donovan's illness, has been called in. And he is a player, you'd call him a Jurgen Klinsmann discovery. He's elevated, and he started well, but has he maintained the same pace of play for the national team that he started with?
I wouldn't necessarily he's Jurgen Klinsmann's discovery, say that. I mean, he has been involved in the U.S. national team, but over the last 2 years, when you saw Breck Shea first come into the national team, it was like, a newborn colt stumbling around the paddock, and he is completely matured and changed. And he is Jurgen Klinsmann's guy. To fly him over there and to put him right into the starting lineup, he gives the U.S. width. He takes players on. He's an exciting player right now for MLS and for FC Dallas and for the U.S. national.
All right, the United States lineup, there you are with Altidore, Dempsey behind him, and there's Michael Bradley. And the talk had been Michael had got to go find himself a team and establish himself. Well, he has done so at near the top of Serie A, where you, of course, Alexi, were the pioneer 20-plus years ago with Chievo and with the Flying Donkeys.
Yeah, I mean,
and he's playing well.
He's playing well, and it's been an interesting year for Michael Bradley, where he wasn't playing. He goes to Italy, and he's done wonderfully. He is playing consistently. They love him over there. He is a staple on that team. I think he's also developed. I don't think the red cards and the emotion that sometimes is a problem with Michael Bradley is a problem anymore. So he's developed a maturity. I think he's also developed a restraint in the way that he plays. And maybe it's just specific to that team. But if he can bring that to the U.S. team and pick and choose his moments much more when he's sitting there in that pocket defensively, not that he can't go forward, but once again, picking and choosing when is appropriate to go forward, I think he's learned a little bit of that at Italy. And if that can transfer to the U.S. team, awesome.
He, of course, Macca, will know the entire opposition today, the starting side for the Italians, which will include 5 players from Juventus. Of course, they had that controversial draw with Milan over the weekend, and 5 players there that we've highlighted. And where are Italy? We know the disaster they had in South Africa. Where are they? Are they on a road back?
They're on the road back, Bob. I mean, they're talking about a transitional phase, admittedly with the likes of Pirlo and Buffon and, you know, a lot of players like that. These are old school players who've been on the side for a long time. But the likes of Giovinco, who Taylor mentioned, Matri, you know, these are players who are going to be for the future. And this is probably the first time in a long time that nothing is expected from Italy. All right, they qualified, and they qualified very comfortably. But, you know, everybody in Europe is talking about Spain, Holland, Germany. Yeah. Italy are off the radar. So for the first time in a long time, they can approach a European Championships and go about the business without the pressure that they once had. And it's probably a great, great time for them to be manager and to be an Italian side.
But not on the radar. Mario Balotelli, of course, the explosive in so many different ways. Manchester City striker, and Cesare Prandelli did not select him. He says he, meaning Balotelli, still seems a little agitated to me. When I say we have to reach the Euro prepared, I mean I don't want to get there with a squad who don't know how to manage tension and provocation. So basically, Balotelli, is he saying he also didn't select Cassano as well for the same reason?
Yeah, I mean, you can afford to say that here. It's a friendly game. It's against the U.S. But I do think that there is a commitment to bringing a team that's mature, not necessarily in age, but ability this summer. And I do believe that there is an optimism when you talk about Italy right now. And maybe it's reflective of the fact that Serie A over the past couple of years has done some very, very good things and kind of come out of the doldrums. But, you know, this is once again Italy.
And also,
it's all Pirlo, of course, who's the glue holding it together.
Pirlo's fantastic, but also, Bob, Balotelli's going to be crazy in 3 months. Balotelli's going to be crazy in 2 years.
Basically, it's in the
so
DNA.
So is Cassano. It's born and bred into
he's
them.
crazy and scores goals.
Exactly, but he is scoring goals, and he's still not choosing them at this moment in time. So when is he going to choose them?
He scored on the weekend, of course.
Of course
in
he
the
did.
3-0 victory for City. Well, United States women today playing in the Algarve Cup. A team that went to the finals of Women's World Cup 2011 with a 5-0 victory in this exhibition tournament over in Portugal. Alex Morgan with 2 goals. And tonight, the U.S. under-23 men against Mexico in Frisco, Texas. The pageantry of an international, the United States, never having defeated Italy, looking to get a result today and play good football. Back to Genoa on the other side of the break.
We didn't have to make safety features like active head restraints, brake assist, and an enhanced accident response system standard in every Chrysler 200. No one would know if we didn't, but we would have. And for us, the things you do when no one is looking are the things that define you.
It's the LensCrafters semi-annual lens event. That's 50% off lenses, including bifocals, no lines, even sunglasses made with your prescription. So hurry in. 50% off lenses won't last forever. LensCrafters.
If you like video games, you need to be a member of GameFly.
Join GameFly. Choose the games you want online, get them in the mail, and send them back when you're done.
There's no due dates, no late fees.
This is the best way to play all the games you want for a great price.
Go to GameFly.com now. Click the joystick in the top right corner. Enter World in the box and get started with a free extended trial. And remember, you can cancel at any time. Product shown rated E through M. Now you can also play PC games as often as you want with our new Unlimited PC Play, free for members.
If you're one of those folks that gets heartburn and then treats day after day, well, that's like checking on your burgers after they're burned.
Treat your frequent heartburn by blocking the acid with Prilosec OTC.
And don't get heartburn in the first place.
1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn.
I'll give you C.J. Wilson and Papelbon for Prince Fielder. Throw Brett Gardner, you got a deal. I can't give up Gardner. I'll give you Sabathia and Beltray for Fielder. How about Rafael Perkov? You got a deal.
ESPN Fantasy Baseball. Sign up for free at ESPN.com.
Well, they love their football in Italy, and this is one of the greatest stadiums for me. The Stadio Luigi Ferraris, picked out by the floodlights in the seaport of Genoa tonight. Great atmosphere during the playing of the 2 national anthems. This ground holds 36,000. It's not quite full, but there's an excellent atmosphere here. And it's a chance, Taylor, for the United States team to make a bit of a statement. They've been to France, and put in a respectful performance, lost the game 1-0. They lost in Belgium 1-0. Those were decent performances. Can they go one better than that here? It's a long shot, isn't it?
It's a long shot, but isn't that the goal? You go to France, you play in Paris, you play Belgium, in Brussels, and this is a good test for the players to see what they learned from those experiences, move on, but they got their hands full tonight.
There's Michael Bradley.
Loved it, New Jersey.
Yeah. He played here 2 weeks ago and got booked, and that booking earned him a suspension at the weekend, so he'll be plenty fresh for this game, re-established in the starting lineup. It's only the second time he's started for Jurgen Klinsmann.
Yeah, but you saw the effect of Michael Bradley against Slovenia in November. His just smart positioning, the understanding when to play the short ball and getting forward, helping the attack going forward. Michael Bradley's got to be big tonight.
And so will Tim Howard. He might be busy. The goalkeeper winning his 73rd cap. He'll be 33 next Tuesday. What a fantastic goalkeeper he's been for the United States. Jurgen Klinsmann ranks him in the top 5. And this fellow really needs no introduction. Gigi Buffon, who's been around so long that Alexi Lalas was playing in these parts when he started.
I'm going to take the brunt of that when I get home to the States. Thanks, Ian.
He breaks Dino Zoff's Italian goalkeeping record, by the way, tonight with his 113th cap, Buffon. Italy not wearing their Azzurri blue in an all-white outfit tonight. The pitch here in Genoa has been relayed in the last few days as well, but we watched the training on it last night. Seemed to be okay.
Seemed fine. There are some soft spots, particularly in the 18-yard box. Nothing too bad.
And it's Italy who get us underway here. An early touch for the left-back Crescito. It's Ogbonna playing it back to the goalkeeper. He's winning only his 2nd cap and plays in the 2nd division for Torino. One of the new players being looked at by Cesare Prandelli, the coach, who did great things with Fiorentina and has started very well with Italy as well. This is Barzali. Maurice Edu. Edu and Boccanegra, of course, with Rangers, all the financial turmoil going on there. Now then, Matri with a chance almost straight away. Bit of a mix-up there. And the United States defence, that was a nervy moment.
Yeah, Clarence Goodson has to be aware that Matri, the moment that ball's turned over, Pirlo and Nocerino got knocked it over the top.
Really was a fine ball as well. He's making his first start up front for Italy. Alessandro Matri scored a 83rd minute equaliser in the big top of the table game here at the weekend for Juventus against AC Milan, a game which was cloaked in controversy. Just wonder what approach the Italians will have to this. It's getting very close to the European Championships now, and a lot of these players will be looking to make a point. They want to make sure of their place in the squad.
Yeah, a lot of players are coming in here like Giovinco, like Matri up front. When there's a lot of injuries, there's opportunities for players to make a name for themselves.
Of course, the USA agenda is the World Cup qualifiers, which start in June. They're going to be against Antigua and Barbuda. Now here's Breck Shea, pulled into the squad late. Dempsey. Fabian Johnson, by the way, being used in the left-back position tonight with Timmy Chandler injured. He has been playing there the last 4 games in the Bundesliga for Hoffenheim, so it's not a completely unfamiliar role. But that is a change. Here's Matri. He's got his own fan club here tonight. Big night for him, that's for certain. Now Giovinco will find little pockets of space, wearing that famous number 10 shirt worn in the past by the likes of Gianfranco Zola and Roberto Baggio and Francesco Totti.
A couple good players.
Yes. They've had a few down the years. More than a few. 4 times champions of the world. Italy in 1940, 34, 38, 82 and in 2006. In fact, Pirlo and Buffon were part of that World Cup winning squad, both playing tonight. Maggio. Nocerino to knock it inside. Morta. Maggio again, it's a good passing movement. Big job for Bradley and Adu sitting in front of that back four to trap the runners.
And even Fabian Johnson's first start at left back, it's going to be very curious to see the understanding with him and Breck Shea, particularly when Maggio's overlapping down the right-hand side.
It's going to be up to Shea as well, isn't it, Taylor, to make sure that Maggio's kept occupied with the defensive part of his job.
100%, Ian. If Breck Shea's getting in behind, it's keeping Maggio on his heels.
Here he is, the player they call the architect, Andrea Pirlo, with his first involvement. What the United States definitely don't need is a morale-sapping heavy defeat. Hasn't happened at all yet in the Klinsmann era. Maggio loves to break forward down that side. Oh, Motta's shot was blocked by the legs of Howard. Pirlo. They look dangerous, Italy, here.
They look dangerous indeed, particularly down this right-hand side. Maggio getting forward. But Adu and Bradley got to keep an eye out for Motta coming in late. Big save from Tim Howard. Great reaction, but that late run coming into the box is a problem.
Tim Howard, important he got something in the way of that. Not sure he knew too much about it, but he got his legs in the way of Motta's shot. Barzali has made a big comeback in the last few months to the Italian fold after 3 years away from the squad. Well, they're quite happy to play the passing game in their own penalty area. You won't see that in the schoolboys and girls coaching manual. Marchisio tried to make a run in behind from midfield there. Goodson was the player who cut it out. Jürgen Klinsmann said to us last night, talking to us, this game will be a reality check. I want to take the players out of their comfort zone, test them in this kind of hostile environment against a class side.
Good spot from Michael Bradley, clogging up passing lanes, getting out of a tight spot, releasing pressure.
There's the dependable Steve Cherundolo, who plays his football at Hanover and has for 14 years. Ten of the 11 United States players tonight are European-based. The exception is Breck Shea, who's the only player to play in every game so far for Jürgen Klinsmann, FC Dallas man. Adu to Altidore. Now Danny Williams is restored to the starting lineup tonight. Williams once again. It's cut out by Barzali. It's worth reiterating that Italy did not concede a single goal at home all the way through their European Championship qualifying group. And that group included a game here against Serbia, which was abandoned after 6 minutes because of riots among the Serbian fans. Italy were awarded a 3-0 win by UEFA. Shea, nice passing here from the United States. They looked very sharp, I thought, in training last night. Of course, training's one thing, the match is another. Good intensity. There's Cherundolo again, back to the Hoffenheim player, Danny Williams. Dempsey nicely worked on that right-hand side. Cherundolo, it's a great move. Out to Bradley on the edge of the box. Terrific football from the United States there.
Yeah, good combination play. Steve Cherundolo's got to have a hit. Good layback from Clint Dempsey. This is a good run. Just whip this far post. Josie Breck Shea knocking on the door. Good combination play from Danny Williams and Clint Dempsey.
He worked that nicely down the right-hand side. Very long from Bradley. Breck Shea, not the header back in that was required, really. Giovinco's pulled into Space here, the ball not quite accurate enough for him. They're going to have to watch that, the defence, because runners are coming from midfield from all over the place.
Amen, Ian. That's the counter-attack that you're talking about with Giovinco, knowing that he can get in behind on that quick counter.
Here he is now. Giovinco lost his balance at the key moment, and there was an air shot from him when it seemed he might just dink that into the back of the net.
No, and you look at Tim Howard right now talking to Carlos Bocanegra. They got to have their heads up. Giovinco just having a little understanding, timing that run. Smart play from Tim Howard coming out, playing as a fit defender.
Giovinco, nicknamed Atom Ant after the Hanna-Barbera cartoon character. He's only 5 feet 4.5 inches tall. He's getting a lot of publicity. Plays for Parma.
Hey, 1-2, 1-2.
Jurgen Klinsmann was making a point, wasn't he, about how quick the players think at this more exalted level of the powerhouse teams.
Yeah, he talked a lot yesterday, Ian, about that, thinking 2 passes ahead, not just what's the next play.
Nicely done. Fabian Johnson. In towards Dempsey. Shea! Well, it was a hint of a chance, wasn't it?
It's a good chance. If Fabian Johnson can come forward. Good overlapping run. A little hesitation from Clint Dempsey and Breck Shea knocking on the door. U.S. is having success with Fabian Johnson overlapping down his left-hand side.
Well, you wonder there, Jurgen Klinsmann, who actually played on this ground, not many times, for Sampdoria towards the end of his career. Both Sampdoria and Genoa play here. Maggio, there he is on another overlap. It's well defended by the skipper, Carlos Bocanegra. But Maggio loves to do that at times. He's almost like a right winger, as Arsenal found out when AC Milan trounced them recently.
He's coming forward at ease. There's got to be better communication between Breck Shea and Fabian Johnson.
Napoli playing Maggio. Pirlo. Hammered out of harm's way. But not out of play by Dempsey. And still, the United States, unbelievably almost, have not got Clint Dempsey and Landon Donovan on the same pitch in the Jurgen Klinsmann era. This is the 8th consecutive game Landon Donovan has missed. The quote from Jurgen Klinsmann is, "It is what it is. I've moved on. We're moving on."
It's unfortunate for both parties, and I'm sure Landon's frustrated as well.
He's out with bronchitis for this game. And here is Dempsey.
Well done, Josie.
You can hear Coach Jurgen Klinsmann on the side. That's what he wants Josie Altidore to do. Big, strong target play, hold the ball up.
There's no doubt there that Barzali had hold of Altidore's shirt. Defenders seem to get away with that kind of thing.
It's a tough job being up front by yourself, but it's the little things that matter so much more. Holding the ball up, allowing Clint Dempsey, Danny Williams, Breck Shea to get forward.
This is Marchisio, one of 5 Juventus players in the Italian side. Giovinco. Crescito breaking forward. The 2 fullbacks have license to do that because it's a kind of diamond they're playing in the center of midfield.
Which is fine. If you're the U.S. and you win the ball, quick counter, either to Michael Bradley or Clint Dempsey, you can break them down.
Here's Marchisio again. He did go to the World Cup. There are a few who've survived. Of course, Chiellini would normally be in the starting lineup. Tonight he's on the bench. So too is Daniele Di Rossi. Just given him a little rest for this one. We might see him later. 6 substitutes allowed because it's a friendly. Might be all change in the second half. Motta nearly found the run of Maggio. This is Nocerino, who scored against his old club for Milan at the weekend. Said he did it with rage in his heart. He thought Juventus hadn't been too kind to him, letting him go without explanation. As you can imagine, the Italian journalist gobbled that one up, that quote. All the talk was about that Sully Montari header that was definitely over the line, but not given.
You think?
For Milan. Well, line technology may be on the way. There's a big meeting coming up this weekend. Maybe we'll see some progress on that, a little belatedly, in my view.
It has to happen.
Barclays Premier League coverage continuing Saturday. Liverpool against Arsenal, cracking match from 7:30 a.m. Presented by Sonosite on ESPN2 and ESPN3. Make sure you join us for that. Liverpool just getting their first trophy for 6 years, and Arsenal coming off that 5-goal win against Spurs. Cherundolo to Altidore, needs it to stick, and it does. Good hold-up play. Scored 2 goals at the weekend on his return to the starting lineup for AZ Alkmaar. Shea. Nobody'd come to the near post for him there.
No, but that's better for Brek Shea. Often you see him take players one-on-one. It's all about the results from Brek Shea now. Got to see more crosses coming in the 18-yard box, taking players one-on-one, creating shots.
No look in for Napoli there. I think his energy levels are up again, aren't they, Brek Shea? Just looked a little tired, I thought, towards the back end of last season. He had a heavy year. Done very, very well for Dallas and was in the MLS Team of the Year and playing every game for Jurgen Klinsmann.
There's no doubt about it. It definitely caught up to him, and I think this year...
But that's okay, isn't it? His age, his stage.
That's part of growing up as a professional, and now the understanding of what last year was like. This year could be a big year for Brek.
Certainly will be at the Olympic Games, I'm pretty certain of that. Here's Marchisio. Really nice movement from the Italian side, who was such a washout at the World Cup. In common with England and France, of course. Knocked out at the group stage. Losing to Slovakia when it mattered most. Bradley. One for Altidore to chase. He's going to need, well, Dempsey usually to get up close to him for the United States to be super effective.
But I don't mind that run, Ian. Yeah, at some point, Josie's got to take a chance. He's up front by himself, get in behind. Because now the defender's thinking, he might be over my shoulder, then he can check, hold the ball up, and allow the midfield to get forward.
Did score a penalty, his first goal of the Klinsmann era in that excellent win the United States had away to Slovenia in the fog of Ljubljana. Pirlo. In towards Giovinco's offside.
That is such a ridiculous ball from Pirlo.
He can land the ball on a dime, I'd say, from anywhere up to 50 yards.
Just makes it so easy. And look at this turn. Good eye from Fabian Johnson, but Giovinco's close. But Pirlo just turning those hips, dropping a 25-yard ball right over the top. Something special.
Here's Cesare Prandelli, the coach. 5 years with Fiorentina. He got them in the top 4 in Italy twice. I remember them beating Liverpool home and away in the Champions League.
And Ian, when you and I talked to last week with Giuseppe Rossi, he really talked about the sports psychology that he's brought to this Italian team, allowing the players to be more free and express themselves. It's almost as if the failures there at the 2010 World Cup freed him up a little bit.
It's a different mentality. I think there was a lot of complacency in the World Cup performance under Marcello Lippi. Giovinco getting in behind again. They're going to have to watch him.
Yeah, he's not going to be offside too much. Bocanegra and Goodson have to have better communication there. Such a good little run right behind that back shoulder of Carlos Bocanegra. That's a nightmare for a center back to find.
Incidentally, the two central defenders who did very well in the recent January friendlies, Parkhurst and Cameron, they're both on the bench here. I think Zach Whitbread, who's a regular for Norwich City now, might be another player who'll be pushing for a place in the side. He's not in this particular squad. Tim Ream not in the squad. He's joined Bolton Wanderers in the English Premier League. So maybe the cupboard's not bare in that department. Bradley, fed by Altidore. Now Dempsey was in space too. Never arrived at him. Lot to like about some of the United States attacking work.
Yeah, love the combination play with Williams and Cherundolo down the right, Shea and Johnson. But it's the understanding with Dempsey, Bradley, and Adu in the middle. Who's going to go forward and support, and who's going to stay, hold the ground in front of that back four.
Giovinco, great ball towards Matri, but he is offside. The flag went up once the ball arrived at him, and the referee's assistant is entitled to wait that long. Wait till he becomes active.
It's this dangerous run right behind. He's off a little bit.
They've
But
got
again,
that right.
it's that little run in behind that back four, Ian, that's causing problems.
Some very clever movement from the Italians. Here's Breck Shea again. Just hobbled away for a moment there. Seems to be all right, though. Pirlo again. A lot of raised eyebrows when AC Milan let him go to Juventus, and he's been superb for his new club, who are pushing Milan hard for the championship. There's only a point in it. Maybe Serie A is on its way back, the way their teams have been playing in the Champions League. Well, most of them anyway. Shea. Fabian Johnson, who looks like he might be quite a fine for Jurgen Klinsmann. Now Maurice Edu.
It's the left back position that everyone's wondering, but Fabian Johnson very comfortable going forward.
And he's a natural left footer as well.
He's played the last 4 games there for Hoffenheim in Germany. He looks very comfortable.
I thought he had a really good game in Slovenia, where they deployed him further forward on the left of a diamond in midfield.
And that was when they employed 2 center forwards. Either way, when you got a left foot the way Fabian does, there's a spot on the field for you.
Pirlo. Chipped up. Giovinco is offside again. But my goodness me, can't Pirlo see a pass?
I mean, just a tight spot. Clarence Goodson looked to keep Giovinco on, but even a better job from Edu to see the play out no matter what.
Altidore.
That's big time from Josie.
We'll be learning all the time.
Ian, it's a little thing, but that now allows the back four to push forward, get out of their own end, have a little bit of possession.
Which they've done quite nicely at times here. Can they find some end product to it? Steve Cherundolo joining in at right back. Now Danny Williams. Edu's got some space here. But that Italian defence is like Fort Knox. The best record of any team in Europe in qualifying, with only 2 conceded.
And they're supposedly on the downturn. Sure.
Well, it's been the story. It's a tale as old as time, Italian defending. think they regard it as a personal insult if they concede a goal. They certainly will tonight. They'll take that attitude, and it's worth remembering the United States have only ever scored 4 goals in history in 10 games against Italy while conceding 32. It's not a flattering statistic, but all those kind of runs are there to be broken. Bradley to take it, Shea, and a half chance of a header. The attack is still alive. Bradley plays it in again, and in the end Marchisio is happy to whack it away. Michael Bradley was talking to us the other night and talking about the important for the United States team to have respect in Europe. I think they started to gain that respect all those years ago at Italia 90 when they held the host to 1-0 in the Stadio Olimpico. I was there that night, a tremendous performance. A few
it's
raised
also
eyebrows.
the, consistent times you get out of your group and show well in the World Cup.
And the goalkeeper, Tony Meola, today admitted to the Hall of Fame. Congratulations to him and Claudio Reyna, and one of the other players there, Desmond Armstrong, was on the admitted on the veterans ballot.
Well deserved. 2 idols of mine that I watched growing up. Great guys.
Marchisio looking to play a little 1-2 down this side. Giovinco, who's looked as bright as we'd heard. Now then, here's the opposite number 10, Clint Dempsey. Look at Bradley making that lung-bursting run from midfield. It's never found. Pity.
And that's the little thing Josie Altidore has to be better. He's got to be strong. U.S. had numbers going forward.
Pirlo, Marchisio offside again. Matley still wants to put the ball in the back of the net, but the flag had been up a long, long time.
How often did we see this combination play at training yesterday? Pirlo from a deep position, just pulling off that back line, and Matri just timing his run a little too soon.
Caught offside for the 4th time, the Italian attack. But you'd have to say, with all the movement, they do look menacing.
It's that little run, Ian, that little dirty run from Marchisio that causes a problem.
Barzali, well won by Edu in midfield, and he's found Breck Shea here. Well, there we are again. Just a little lightning counter from the USA. Well played by Edu to win the ball in the first place.
Yeah, and even a better run from Breck Shea. Timing that run to stay on side, getting it behind. It's that quick counter. Italy's pushing those outside backs forward, and they catch them in those little seams.
Player down injured, it's Altidore. That's why Pirlo just let the play stop there. Let's hope that's nothing too serious.
Looks like a hand. Look at that. Mike Piazza in most home runs as a catcher ever. 308 career average.
And he obviously...
Let me guess, you're going to tell me, though, that the English invented baseball? Are we going to have our first argument on air?
No, of course not. But he's a soccer fan as well, obviously. Why not?
Unbelievable hitter in his day.
He was stepped on, I think, there, Altidore, off the ball. And that would have been painful with the old studs as well.
I can go down there and teach him how to tape his wrist if he needs it.
Well, seriously, you hope there's not a broken bone or something there, don't you? He's holding that a bit ruefully. And maybe that's just an impact injury. Altidore, understandably, looking in a bit of pain. Good time to tell you that, interestingly, on the bench, apart from Edson Buttle, is 19-year-old Terence Boyd, who's never played a first-team game yet for Borussia Dortmund, the German league leaders, but looks powerful and promising, and is just getting a chance to experience the big time, being named on this roster. He is on the bench. Pirlo, Maggio, Giovinco again. He's all over the place, isn't he? Finding little pockets everywhere, Giovinco. Now you see him, now you don't, as far as the defenders are concerned. Barzali cuts it out of play. Major League Soccer is back with us on Monday, March the 12th. Portland Timbers hosting the Philadelphia Union on ESPN2, ESPN3. That's Monday, March the 12th. Make a note in your diary. It's 9:30 Eastern.
I'll be there. Should be a good one.
And a halftime debate about what we might expect in the MLS season, featuring Taylor. LA Galaxy defending the title, and with David Beckham re-signed. Everybody, barring Dempsey and Altidore, back behind the ball. Nocerino trying to pick up Maggio's run again. He's not having to play much like a right back, is he, Maggio here, the Napoli player. It was Chelsea he gave a nightmare to. I might have misinformed you about that a bit earlier on. What's the verdict on the USA so far then, Taylor?
Good combination play coming down the right-hand side, as we see with Cherundolo going forward, Johnson going forward. They just have been a little lucky with Giovinco being caught offside and Matri. They got to keep an eye on it. Solid first half. But keep an eye on Josie Altidore. He's really favoring that right arm, wrist, or whatever. It's taped heavily right now.
Marchisio. Giovinco again. That's good defending by Clarence Goodson. He had to get a foot in there, otherwise there might have been trouble.
It's that little run, just hanging on the back shoulder, but a good spot from Clarence. Keeping Sebastian in front of him.
Maximum concentration needed here for the defenders as Pirlo plays his first misplaced pass of the night.
You won't see that a lot.
That's a collector's item. Still going strong, no ego, doesn't do many interviews, he's not on Twitter, he's not on Facebook or anything like that.
Well, that's not much fun then, is it?
As one of the coaches said, he lets his feet do the talking, and they're quite articulate. Big day today, and a reminder that the US women beat Denmark by 5-0 earlier on. Alex Morgan getting a couple of goals there. And congratulations to ESPN's Tony DeChico's in the Hall of Fame as well, in the building ballot for coaches and administrators. Well done, Tony.
Alex Morgan can't stop scoring.
Yeah. And of course their aim is the Olympic Games. No breakthrough yet for Italy. The 4 times World Cup winners and twice runners-up, by the way. 32 minutes gone. Here's Ogbonna. Criscito. Good little feather in the cap of Serie B that Ogbonna's been picked. He's lucky to be here at all. He had a car crash a few years ago. His car careered off a bridge into a raging torrent, and he survived it. Johnson tries to pick up the run of Shea down that side. The USA looking for a first ever win in history against Italy. Having said that, 3 of the last 6 games have ended even, and 5 of the last 6 there's only been 1 goal in it, maximum. So the gap is closing. Adu. Marzali it was who cut it out. Breck Shea. The passing movement was good until that point, and then it was rather given away. Pity.
Breck had room to take it one-on-one. A little too unselfish, looking for Clint. Keep going, but the combination play that includes Josie Altidore allows Breck Shea to get in behind the midfield running at defenders.
Thiago Motta. Behind for a corner kick. Just mentioning Motta there, it's interesting. I mean, he played for Brazil in the CONCACAF Gold Cup in 2003. And in the last year, he's been allowed to play for Italy. Isn't the CONCACAF Gold Cup a competitive event? I'm not quite sure how that happened, that Motta's ended up playing for Italy, but he has.
Yeah, we need to check that out.
He got the clearance. Who are we to question it? Pirlo. Clicito on his left foot, got a bit of meat behind it, but it's going to take something a bit better than that to beat Tim Howard.
Yeah, if you're Tim Howard, you have no problem with Clicito hitting the ball from 30 yards out, but Josie's got to do a better job holding his feet. That's too easy.
I'm sure the Italians are thinking that eventually they will break the United States down at some point. But will they? And can the US just nick a goal from somewhere on the counter? That was given away, wasn't it, by Maggio? Dempsey to Altidore. He needs support around him now. Free kick's going to be given here. 20 yards out or so.
Right on cue, Ian. Talking about the quick counter. Good turnover for Breck Shea to find Josie Altidore. It's a dangerous set piece.
So has somebody got a special in them here? Well, he waits and wonders, Jurgen Klinsmann, who was charming the media here the other day with his fluent Italian learnt during his time at Inter and Sampdoria. Well, this would set the cat among the pigeons if Dempsey could do something here.
But this is where not having Landon Donovan on the field and usually taking this.
Bradley looking interesting as well, and the wall is not the full 10 yards, says the Turkish referee.
Flynn or Michael, the moment that whistle's blown, though, I'd be taking it.
Taking their time. It is Dempsey. Oh, he got hold of that, and Buffon got his fist behind it. I tell you what, a yard either side. That was a bit of a tracer bullet from Clint Dempsey.
It's a great strike from Clint.
Bradley to Altidore. Goes down in the box. The referee not remotely interested. And maybe on a more competitive occasion, a rather stronger word with Altidore would have been had there. Here's Criscito. Two fullbacks playing like wingers for Italy. Motta. Maggio's long-range shot. Giovinco. Quick feet, low center of gravity. He's a handful, quite clearly. Bocanegra out of harm's way.
That's well done from the U.S. Clint Dempsey coming up, hits it very well. Good technique, landing on that shooting foot.
And that's Altidore going down.
Going down a little too easy for me. Josie's doing all the hard work, bringing the ball down. Be strong, knock it off.
Change in formation from the win in Slovenia. They played with Buddle as well up top in that game. But that would have been too ambitious for this assignment, I think. Dempsey, Altidore. Dempsey again, draws the free kick, which I think is what he was hoping for. Joint fourth all-time in the scorers list now for the United States. Clint Dempsey after his strike in Slovenia. And with only Landon Donovan, Eric Guinalda and Brian McBride ahead of him. McBride is here, by the way, tonight.
I played with Clint early on in his career. There was more joy to the game. He had celebrations. You know, the article with Grant Wall on SI.com, it really was interesting how he's got this business-like approach. You know, 16 goals in all competitions this year with Fulham, and he's once more. He wants to hit the 20 mark.
Including 2 hat-tricks, by the way. Bradley with a little chip forward. Again, the fists of Buffon do the job. Italian goalkeeper missed most of the World Cup with injury. Didn't help them either. Here's the little man again, Giovinco. Now it is Alessandro Matri of Juventus. Pirlo. No problems here for Tim Howard. Well, as against France and Belgium away from home, the United States putting up a pretty respectable effort here. And I'd say they're more of an attacking threat than they looked in those 2 other games I mentioned, the France and Belgium ones, wouldn't you, Taylor?
Yeah, definitely. Especially on the outside, they've had good opportunities, combination play, more possession. Just getting in that final third is where Italy is so good with that back four.
I mean, I think the big project is to turn the United States from, say, a top 16 team to a top 10 team. Maybe it's a big job.
Well, you heard it in the pregame show with Alexei and Maka talking about that. That's why Jurgen was brought in, to close that gap. So when the World Cup comes around in 2014, the U.S. aren't intimidated playing the teams like Italy, France, England, and those teams.
And it's not going to happen overnight, that as well. But the encouraging thing is there's some good youngsters coming through. It'll be interesting to see how the U.S. get on in the Olympic Games, which is an under-23 competition. You are allowed 3 overage players.
Huge game for the Olympic team tonight as they play Mexico and Dallas.
Yep.
Good spot from Michael Bradley.
Nocerino. Maggio. Matri. He's only got 1 goal for his country in 4 appearances. This is the first time he's been in from the start, though. He's picked up a little knock there. Carlos Bocanegra doing well, just getting the foot in at the vital time. He's winning his 101st cap tonight, the skipper. Not quite sure Fabian Johnson wanted that ball there. This could be problems. Nocerino, well won back by Adu. He's having a fine game in there. He's run some important tackles, Taylor.
Clogging up passing lanes, but you said it best. Danny Williams has to be smart. You want to go into halftime not giving up any chances. That's a dangerous square ball to Fabian Johnson. Good spot from Marisa Dew.
Just might have to be a little cuter in attacking moves to unlock the miserly Italian defense. Oh, hit by Motta as it dropped. Won a lot of trophies in his time with Barcelona and Inter, didn't he, Thiago Motta? A lot of injuries as well in the past, which haven't helped his cause. Crescito. Maggio again, not a good enough quality ball in. He won't be too happy with that, I don't think. Cesare Prandelli, the coach, will want better than that. It's a good sign for the US if the Italians just become a little frustrated. Jürgen Klinsmann will know that, of course. I would think he'd be happy enough, wouldn't he, so far?
But this is a true test right here, going into halftime, making sure the scoreline stays the same. This is part of growing up on the road, having an understanding, game management. These are the little things, the mentality that Jürgen Klinsmann talked about yesterday with us, Ian. Having an understanding when to go forward and having an understanding when to see the game out.
I think the job now is to make sure they make no mistakes going in towards half-time. We're getting close to it now.
Exactly.
And they do get to half-time. It is goalless here. Taylor, your verdict?
It's exactly what Jürgen wanted. Coming forward, they got to be careful a little bit with Montri and Giovinco off that back shoulder of the center backs, but the U.S. good combination play down the flanks. They just need something at the end of it.
Can they see it through, though? Can they close the show? Or will the Italians unlock that defense at the end of this? Go back to the studio now. Let's get more comments with Bob Lee, Alexi Lalas, and Steve McManaman. Back to you, boys.
Thank you, Ian and Taylor. We'll be back to you for the second half kick in Genoa. Scoreless, U.S. getting the better of it. The latter stages of that second half. The United States have never defeated Italy. Will this be the evening? We'll take a look at the highlights, and there's something to talk about in a moment.
Please continue to hold. The next available claims representative will be with you in 97 minutes. And if you've got cut rate insurance, there's nothing you can do about this. So get Allstate. The only insurance company that guarantees your claim experience won't be mayhem. Like me.
Introducing the Claim Satisfaction Guarantee, only from Allstate. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate.
The news is so shocking, it is difficult to absorb it.
The guy was the king of L.A.
He said, Irvin, I have some news to tell you.
That was the first time I cried.
What if I told you that on November 7th, 1991, everyone knew someone positive? ESPN Films presents The Announcement, directed by Nelson George, Sunday, March 11th at 9 on ESPN.
Dish Network claims they have more HD channels than DirecTV. But what Dish doesn't tell you is that 24 of their HD channels are only in high def part of the time. So with Dish, when you turn on your flat screen, you might get HD, or you might not. DirecTV now has over 170 HD channels, all in high def, all the time. The most full-time HD channels. Another reason 30 million people agree. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV. Dish Network claims they have the same TV as DirecTV. Well, when it comes to customer satisfaction, America's leading independent index shows otherwise. Today, Dish Network's satisfaction ratings have plummeted, the biggest decline in over a decade, while DirecTV customers once again gave us the highest satisfaction rating of any satellite or cable provider. #1 in customer satisfaction. Another reason 30 million people agree. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV.
The 9th game of the Jürgen Klinsmann era. It's the 6th time the United States are Scoreless at the half, along with Steve McMenamin and Alexi Lawless. I'm Bob Lee. One-sentence report card here.
I'll be honest, I was disappointed. I thought that there would be much more of a commitment to possession. I think at times they were okay going forward and getting some opportunities, but all in all, I don't think it showed where this team needs to be in terms of the advances over the last 7 months.
But still, they're level with Italy. In Italy.
Yeah, very much so. Bob, this is a difficult game, this. So, I mean, you know, they're doing okay. They're still in the game. Hopefully they can express themselves a little bit more in the second half. My only concern would be somebody has to close down Andrea Pirlo. He's the best player on the park at the moment. Huge amounts of time to knock passes over Goodson, over Boccanegra. That is a problem.
But that's a surprise? That's a surprise.
No, exactly.
That can't be a surprise.
Somebody should be tight on him.
Well, Tim Howard was called upon, as we'll take a look at some of the highlights. Understanding in the center-back situation is an issue for the U.S., at least early on. And that attempt is, Howard is able to make the attempt and get his body in front of it. This is offside, but still it shows you the danger.
Yeah, I mean, look at the time and space. And the problem is, for the back four, at a certain point, they have to stop going backwards. But if you're not going to put any pressure on the ball, and look, these are set pieces. The U.S. is fine on set pieces. I'm not worried about the U.S. on set pieces. But in the flow of the play and understanding defensively about how to pick up people, especially a Pirlo, you know, that's a problem.
All right, defensively. Let's talk offensively. All right, granted, Italy's defense, I mean, any tougher in the world? Probably not. I mean, we saw how stingy they were through European qualifying. Josie Altidore most advanced there. He took the nick to the hand. A report card on Josie in the first half.
I thought he's been okay, Bob. I mean, I think we have to reiterate, it's difficult for the USA side going forward because defensively they need to be strong. You know, the Italians are big favourites in their own patch, so they have to be defensively strong. They don't want to throw the game away early on. So the level of bodies going forward is more difficult. But I thought Josie's held the ball up well. He's brought people into the game. USA do need to try and get more people up there, to try and help Josie Altidore, but hopefully that'll come as the game progresses.
And he's got to get stronger. He's got to get stronger when the ball gets up there, and you have to want it mentally to be the only player that's playing up there.
Do you see that he doesn't?
I don't. I don't.
You don't see it?
I just don't. You know, I don't see it now. The good part was at times they did nick the ball in some good positions, and they sent Josie through one, through on one, which he drew the foul, which was good. Another time Breck Shea got through. So the ability to make that transition, see the opportunity, and go quickly at this Italian defense will bring some joy.
Learning experience, and we'll see what step, if any, up the United States make. It is International Day around the globe. Greece and Belgium are 1-1 at the half. Portugal and Poland are scoreless. What's going on with England? We're not talking about this match necessarily, but who's going to manage them in the Euros? Argentina leading Switzerland, and France, they've taken the lead on Germany, and Venezuela and Spain, they are scoreless at the first half. And a major day in United States soccer as the class of 2012 for the Hall of Fame announced. Three gentlemen you had the pleasure of playing with: Tony Meola, Claudia Reyna, Desmond Armstrong, elected, Alexi, and they richly deserve that.
All class on and off the field, well deserving, all of them.
And you can say the same about Tony DeCicco, of course, who won the World Cup for the women in 1999, our colleague last year of the 2011. Congratulations to them all. David Beckham and the Galaxy, are they the class of the field? Are they odds on in MLS? We'll talk about it as we come back, and then back to Genoa.
He is suffering from flu-like symptoms.
We had to help him into the locker room. It made me a believer. Not in luck or fate.
You can see how exhausted Michael Jordan
but in
is.
the will to win.
Michael Jordan!
You win from within.
Classic performance by Michael Jordan.
If you think any battery will do, consider the journey of today's athletes. Their training depends on technology. And when their devices are powered by a battery, there are athletes everywhere who trust Duracell. So whether they're headed for London or the journey has just begun, they rely on copper to go for the gold. Duracell, trusted everywhere.
It's the LensCrafters semi-annual lens event. That's 50% off lenses, including bifocals, no lines, even sunglasses made with your prescription. So hurry in. 50% off lenses won't last forever. LensCrafters.
On dusty dirt lots in Texas and green parks in California, an American dream was born. Through the two-a-days, the rainouts, and the injuries, they persevered to help the team win, to make it to the next level, to one day represent their country. We salute the players of the U.S. national team for never giving up on their dreams and for providing the next generation with an even bigger goal to shoot for.
Barclays Premier League, MLS Game of the Week, Euro 2012, U.S. men's national team qualifiers on the road to World Cup 2014. Soccer's biggest events are on ESPN.
J.G. Wentworth says, get cash now for your structured settlement or annuity.
J.G. Wentworth, cash now?
It's your money. Use it when you need it.
J.G. Wentworth is right. It's my money, and I need it now.
It's my money, and I need it now.
It's my money, and I need it now.
Yeah, it's my money, and I need it now.
これは私のお金です。今すぐ必要なんです。
If you have a structured settlement or annuity, you already have the money you need. Just call J.G. Wentworth. They'll buy all or part of your settlement for a lump sum of cash. Call J.G. Wentworth now and use the money you already have. The call is free and there's no obligation.
It's my money, and I need it now.
Ahora.
Now.
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 Call now 1-800-731-9410. 1-800-731-9410.
It's your money. Use it when you need it.
1-800-731-9410.
Halftime USA in Italy, but don't forget MLS, Major League Soccer, the opening of the season. Alexi, can you believe it? It's in hand already.
I'm excited.
I can see it.
I'm not the only one.
March.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I know.
There's Macca. We're back at it with the early matches this year. Portland and Philadelphia beginning it here on ESPN Monday, March 12th, 9:30 Eastern Time, along with Macca and Alexi. I'm Bob. Let's bring in Taylor Twellman live from Genoa. Talk about Major League Soccer a little bit, Taylor. Conventional wisdom has LA Galaxy odds-on favorite. I know you to be an unconventional guy, but tell me, are the Galaxy you're picking? If so, why?
Well, when we left after the 2011 MLS Cup, there was a lot of question marks with the LA Galaxy. Was Beckham coming back? Was Juninho going to come back? Not only do they get those two players back, they add Edson Buttle. And I'd love to hear what Alexi's opinion is about this, because when was the last time we've seen a defending champion get better? They do have a question mark with Omar Gonzalez being out with the ACL, but if they can find anyone to fill that position, I just don't see anyone giving LA a run for their money.
Yeah, Gonzalez might be back late in the season, but they got a hole to fill in the meantime.
Yeah, and I think there's plenty of teams MLS-wise out there that would disagree in terms of being able to give LA a run. I think that there are teams that will give LA a run. It's very difficult in MLS to repeat. But Taylor mentioned it, Omar Gonzalez. Defensively, the Galaxy right now, the ability to handle the crosses that he did consistently throughout the year, that also enabled up the field the players to play, like David Beckham and Landon Donovan, to play like that. That is really going to be a loss. So Bruce Arena's got his hands full with trying to figure out how to deal with that. But there are plenty of teams right now that have looked at this offseason as a way to get better. All over the league, obviously we have Montreal coming in. I think Portland's gotten better. I love what Sporting Kansas City has done, because they last year were just a little naive and a little too young. A year older. If there's a team that I would pick as a possible MLS Cup, they are them, Sporting KC.
Beckham, of course, had talked to Paris Saint-Germain. How did it play in the over in the UK when it was decided he was going to go back to Los Angeles?
I don't think anybody was that particularly bothered, to be honest, Bob. Either way, it was a good choice, if you know what I mean. If he would have went to Paris Saint-Germain, he was going to a wonderful club, top of the league, wonderful city. But he's decided to stay at home where he's happy and his kids are in school and his wife's happy. So it was a win-win situation for Beckham. It's great for the MLS that he's still here.
It's not win-win at the half of the Italian match with the USA. We are scoreless. United States looking for a first-ever victory. We get a result at free kick late in the first half. A great opportunity by Dempsey. No goals yet.
This is the moment. Your decisions catch up to you. And my decisions pay off. UFC Undisputed 3. In stores now. Rated T for teen.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. I'm not sure exactly what happened here last night. I was out helping people save money on their car insurance.
More. You're doing it. You're doing, or they doing great. Here we go. Hi! Come sweat with me. Keep going, Richard. Keep sweating.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
I was so tired of looking old and fat and ugly that I couldn't take it one more minute. So, you know what I did? I ordered me Nutrisystem. And here I am, folks, 32 pounds thinner. Ain't it pretty? All good looks aside, though, folks. Here's the bottom line. I was overweight, out of shape, and my health was pitiful. So I decided to lose the weight and get myself healthy. And man, Nutrisystem's success is so easy. You get 5 fantastic meals a day. All you gotta do is eat them. They taste great, and they're good for you. How much easier can you get?
Save 40%. It's Nutrisystem's 40th anniversary sales event. You'll choose 5 fantastic meals, plus a daily protein shake for between meals. At about $2 a meal, it's our best price since 2003.
Call Nutrisystem right now, and you'll be looking pretty like me before you know it.
I'll give you C.J. Wilson and Pebble Ball for Prince Fielder. Roll Brett Gardner, you got a deal. Oh, I can't give up Gardner. I'll give you Sabathia and Beltray for Fielder. How about Raphael for Koff? You got a deal.
ESPN Fantasy Baseball. Sign up for free at ESPN.com.
Welcome back to the Stadio Luigi Ferraris in Genoa. Half-time score here, encouraging for the United States, holding powerhouse Italy goalless at the moment. What developments, I wonder, in the second half. But in that first half, the big problem for the US defenders, Taylor, was looking after little Giovinco, who's everywhere, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was always peeling off the shoulder of either Bocanegra or Goodson, looking for those little seams behind. And the right back, Maggio, was getting forward. But the common theme here is who's playing these balls? And it's Pirlo. If the U.S. can put early pressure, like Macca said at halftime, on Pirlo, make him play short passes, that limits these dangerous runs from Giovinco over that back shoulder from Carlos Bocanegra.
Yep, thanks, Taylor. Ian Dark with Taylor Twellman in Genoa. Jurgen Klinsmann relentlessly upbeat as coach. He wants his players to move to another level, as he put it, and embrace change. There's Fabian Johnson, who can play left back or further forward down the left-hand side. He's got plenty of pace about him. Big job tonight with Maggio overlapping into his area all the time. But he's playing in the Bundesliga every week, and that helps.
Yeah, he looks very comfortable, particularly in possession. But Brekshay's got to do a better job of being in a better position and allowing Fabian Johnson to mark up.
Montolivo, Riccardo Montolivo of Fiorentina has come on, and so too for his 50th cap as Giorgio Chiellini to play in central defence. Nocerino has come off, and so too Criscito at half-time. Remember, 6 substitutions each allowed, as far as I can see. None so far for the US. On the bench, Jonathan Spector, Michael Parkhurst, Jeff Cameron of Houston Dynamo, Sasha Kljestan, Edson Buddle, and the 19-year-old Terrence Boyd. Not much impact so far for Alessandro Matri, who was hitting the headlines at the weekend with his goal for Juventus and had another good one disallowed by the look of things.
Yeah, but he's just etching on that last line of defense. The U.S. has to do a better job of putting pressure on Pirlo so he can't just knock those balls over the top.
Of course, the Italians without Antonio Cassano, their top scorer in qualifying, who who's had an operation for a minor heart defect. Good luck to him. He's been visiting the squad this week. And also Giuseppe Rossi, the American-born striker. Might be touch and go whether he makes it in time after his knee ligament injury. He's back in light training. Good luck to him.
Yeah, great conversation we had a week ago with him, and you just root hard for him. It's a tough injury, and it was very interesting to hear him say he didn't set any goals, just one day at a time.
The story of those 2 away games we were mentioning, away to France and Belgium, who are quite a talented side themselves, was that the US did well up to a point, and then about halfway through the second half, they conceded.
Yeah, you got to think that Coach Jurgen and his staff talked about this spot right here. Montolivo, Pirlo, finding that deep spot. They got to put pressure on that early.
Cut out by Johnson, who's sticking to his task pretty well there at left back. The US at the moment without Kuchonyewu, central defender. He's out injured, quite a few in fact. Jose Torres, Donovan himself, Jermaine Jones, Kyle Beckerman's not here, Timmy Chandler. Beckerman's been pretty much automatic pick in the holding midfield role so far, the Real Salt Lake player. Barzali towards Mathri. Barzali's trying to get the ball in against Cherundolo, watchful with the header away. The US have only scored 7 goals in 9 games under Jurgen Klinsmann, but they've only let in 7 as well.
Keep in mind, though, 3 of those were in 1 game.
Yeah. Yeah, goal scoring's been a problem. They're working on that. Johnson. Altidor's pulled out wide. A bit of a disappointment, really, that. Now then, Thiago Motta. He's come close a couple of times to Italy. Quite a group the Italians have. It starts with a game against the European and world champions Spain in Gdansk. One of the games of the tournament early on the 10th of June. It's all live, by the way, with us on ESPN. Make sure you're around for that in the summer. Pirlo, Giovinco flags up again. Good discipline to keep catching him offside like this. Woo.
Yeah, and a good spot from Carlos Bocanegra to come forward, but Fabian Johnson's a little late on that.
That was close. That looked about level.
You know the type of runs that Sebastian Giovinco is going to make, but it's got to be quicker pressure on that ball.
Here is Pirlo. Naka was saying at half-time they just need to put him under a little bit more pressure on the ball. Oh, look at Giovinco. He's got offside again. Flags up again. It's getting frustrating, this, for the Italian crowd, because every time he springs from midfield, that flag's going up.
Yeah, but there's got to be a better understanding from the Americans. This came all the way from deep in the Italian zone. If Clint Dempsey and Josie Altidore are going to put pressure up high, the midfield and back four got to go with them. Way too easy for the Italians to get a chance.
The Parma man, frustrated again. He's yet to score for his country. Can only be a matter of time, I'd say. And what we've seen tonight, somebody is going to cop it. Here he is again. Dempsey. Breck Shea celebrated his 22nd birthday yesterday. Big cheer from all the other players at the end of training. Now the brake's on here, but they've not got it right. It's given away by Montolivo. Cherundolo. Now Danny Williams, one of the growing band of German-Americans in the team. Come a long way from Freiburg a few years ago in the reserve team. Mota. Oh, he's picked a very good ball. The flag's up again against Matri. That's the 8th offside of the night, Taylor, for Italy.
At some point, you got to be careful. That's a fine line. Matri's got to do a little bit better job of holding that run, but the U.S. have to be careful here because at some point, Giovinco is going to figure out that line and he's going to be in.
Altidore with a bandage now on that left wrist that he damaged in the first half. I think Pirlo trod on him, not deliberately, of course.
It's been a slow start to the second half for the U.S. Very little possession when they win the ball, getting forward.
Yeah, they won't want it to become just a survival job.
No, they had a couple spells in that first half where they had possession, getting it behind on the flanks. Nothing so far in the second half.
Ogbonna has been moved out to left back now that Chiellini has come on. Away by Clarence Goodson after Marchisio had played the ball in. Here's Marchisio again. He's capable of great things. I've seen tape of him scoring some wonderful goals for Juventus. But he's been pretty quiet here tonight.
Yeah, but this is a throw-in in your own end. In the U.S., it's too easy. Marchisio can come, receive the ball, and turn. He's only 18 yards from your goal. There's got to be better pressure on that initial ball.
Christian Maggio. Out to Giovinco. Pirlo says, give it to me again. I'll pull all the strings. He's been doing it for years in that Italian midfield. The fact that he was injured for all but the last few minutes of the World Cup, or Italy's World Cup anyway, was vital. Without him, they looked lost. Mota. Defending in numbers, the US, can they keep the ball and break intelligently?
Good spot from Maurice Edu to draw the foul. Allow that back four to get a breather here.
The US with friendly matches coming up against Scotland and Brazil at the end of May. Then Canada at the beginning of June, then it's into the World Cup qualifiers. Antigua and Barbuda first up, then 4 days later away to Guatemala. And on it goes through the autumn as well. Jamaica, the other side involved in that initial group. Played in towards Altidore. Can he turn and shoot here? Dempsey scores! Clint Dempsey puts the US ahead. What a shocker. And becomes only the 4th American player ever to score against Italy.
And against a run of play, but this is all Josie Altidore. Does a great job of just holding that ball. And what can you say about Clint Dempsey other than he is hot? And when you're feeling it, all you want is a chance. An opportunity to get a half a yard. Great strike. A good run going forward from Fabian Johnson, but this is what you do, Josie Altidore. Hold that ball, be strong, good layoff, and what a finish. Clint Dempsey having an understanding to come back away from Josie on the right and buries it.
The only other Americans to score against Italy, Aldo Donelli in 1930, John Harkes in 1992, and Landon Donovan at the Confederations Cup with a penalty. Look what it means to Jurgen Klinsmann. And Italy, who didn't concede at home all through their qualifying group of the European Championship, have conceded here to the United States. Out on his own at number 4 now, all-time. Clint Dempsey with that 25th goal for his country. Ahead of Joe Max Moore now. Well, we saw the training last night, and Clint Dempsey, every chance he got, he put it in the back of the net in training. And we were saying, anything falls to him, I'd back him to put it in tonight. Well, there it happened. Is Carlos Bocanegra. But can the United States hold on to this? It would be amazing. Remember, they've never, ever beaten Italy in, what is it, 82 years of trying. Long way to go. Adu. Some consternation now among the fans here in Genoa. Fabian Johnson, I think he looks a real find. You know, he was involved in the build-up to that goal. Breck Shea in. Oh, he was in space there, Johnson. That's not cleared properly by Ogbonna as well. And now it's dropped to Michael Bradley. The Italian fans know all about him. He's played just about every game for Chievo Verona in Serie A this season.
What a great ball from Breck Shea, though. Fabian Johnson getting forward. Maybe wants to use the inside of his foot. Again, the U.S. have to keep in mind when Fabian Johnson or Cherundolo are going to go on the counter.
Matri! Looked like he got it behind, but that flag was up again. Goal arriving, by the way, in the 55th minute for Clint Dempsey. And the Italians are going to make 2 more substitutions now. They're going to bring on Gianpaolo Pazzini of Inter Milan, the striker. And Fabio Barini, former Chelsea player, will make his debut here for Italy. Another striker. Matri substituted, not his night.
No, he was caught offside a couple too many times, trying to beat that back line. But this just shows you, you know, Italy's going to push this game. So if the U.S. can do a good job of just possessing that ball and catch them on the counter.
This really makes this interesting now, doesn't it? Going to try and have to up the tempo there. Shea's challenge on Chiellini. Not a man to argue with generally. Here's Barini's first involvement. He's made quite an impact this season with 6 Serie A goals. The former Chelsea man. Last season he was playing for Swansea at the end of the season and played at Wembley in the playoff final when they got promoted. Now with Roma. Here's the Italian corner kick. Montolivo. Pirlo again. The wounded tiger might be dangerous. Italy were probably pushing the ball around, dominating the game and possession, thinking the goal would come, or a goal did come, but it came for the United States. Naggio. Here's Montolivo again, a big favourite of the coach Prandelli at Fiorentina, as they were doing great things. He's normally in the starting lineup. Ogbonna. Montolivo trying to invent something. No, nothing doing that time either.
That's a good spot from Michael Bradley, though, and the U.S. doing a good job of clogging down the passing lanes, but Fabian Johnson hitting a good ball in, but this is what you have to do. Josie Altidore being strong, but look at that little run from Clint Dempsey. All he wants is a half a yard. Cuts in behind Marquisio, looks for a little bit of space, buries it.
Altidore, who did so well with the goal, holding up the ball and teeing it up for Dempsey to score. The placement was everything in Dempsey's shot. There wasn't a lot of power, but he found the corner of the net.
The finish is great, but it's the run, Ian. It's that little understanding, that instinct to know that Marquisio's coming in deep. I'm going to drop off a half a yard, have a shot.
He just knows where the net is, doesn't he? Particularly this season and last, Clint Dempsey.
You can't teach it. Whatever that is, that little sniff inside that 18-yard box, you can't teach it. Whatever it is, Clint's got it.
Pazzini going down. Not quite so many goals from him this season for Inter, who've been having a difficult time. Claudio Ranieri just about holding on as the coach, but there's a lot of speculation. One newspaper in Italy this morning says Pep Guardiola might get the job. Now then, here is Pazzini. Found a bit of space. Oh, and Perini looking to mark his debut with a goal.
Yeah, the U.S. have to be careful here. Pazzini's come in, looked very dangerous, having his head up, but right at Tim Howard. U.S. can't sit in. Too much time left in this game.
A reminder that the U.S. under-23 men's national team play Mexico at 10 o'clock Eastern this evening. That's on Telefutura at the FC Dallas Stadium. Make sure you catch that as they move towards the Olympic Games. Brek Shea was supposed to be playing in that, but was needed here because of withdrawals from this squad. Can they see this through? It would be some result if the US were able to do this. Here's Dempsey. Only Altidore for company. And he's clever enough to just hold it up and retain possession. No substitutions made at all by Jurgen Klinsmann so far. It's Altidore again. Learning all the time, Josie Altidore. Danny Williams. Deflected off Pirlo's head. That might have been problems. Really deflected into that little space behind his defenders.
But if your right back, Steve Cherundolo, is going to make that long of a run, you got to knock him in if you're Danny Williams. Allow that overlapping run from Steve Cherundolo to whip the ball in.
Montalivo tries to play in Pazzini. They've used 4 substitutions so far, the Italians. It's not all the national coaches like these games, particularly at this time of year with it being busy with the Champions League still in full swing. But it seems to me that club managers never think it's a good time for internationals.
Whenever your players are playing games not for your team, I don't know any coach that likes it.
Yeah. But the rest of us do.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. That's quite a story boiling up here at the moment. The US leading Italy in Italy. I'm sure via the Twitter world, news of this is spreading fast.
It's killing me. My Twitter don't work in this stadium.
You're busy.
I am busy.
Steve Cherundolo up towards Altidore. Did pretty well again there. Won the header, but couldn't quite find Dempsey, but it was lurking with intent. Giovinco. Now Marquisio. He's dispossessed by the hard-working Maurice Edu of Rangers. Of course, Edu and Bocanegra are wondering how it will all resolve itself at Rangers and whether they will still be with the club. They may have to sell players because it's a very, very critical situation with Rangers in administration. It's scarcely believable. think they're getting paid so far. Altidore again. Brought down by Chiellini, who's going to get a yellow card for that. He's proving a handful in this second half, Josie Altidore.
Particularly the last 5 to 6 minutes, just huge. Look at this. Just good, strong, big center forward. Unlucky because he's in. It's those little things. Those that don't go in the stat sheet, but it's holding the ball off, being strong. Now you give your team a set piece and a chance for a second goal.
Bradley to play it in. Not quite the delivery he was looking for. Dempsey once again.
U.S. has to be careful here. Carlos Bocanegra is caught forward.
Jovinko. Look at Bradley covering the ground there in midfield in exactly the right place to break up that attack.
I can't tell you how big of a play that is from Michael Bradley.
He missed out. Pazzini taken down, and there might be a yellow card for that one. Yeah, there's going to be for Carlos Bocanegra. It's always in the second half the referees start pulling out the cards, isn't it?
Yeah, Maurice Edu's got to be careful turning the ball in the middle, but Carlos Bocanegra, smart foul, allowing the team to get back.
Yeah, I don't think you could have any complaints about that one.
I mean,
2 falls and a submission, wasn't it?
It's a good open field tackle.
Towards Pazzini. He's the player who first hit the headlines with that hat-trick, the first ever goals at the new Wembley in an under-21 match for Italy, Pazzini. Another one vying for starting places at the European Championships. This is a very unfamiliar territory at home for Italy. They did lose at home to Uruguay in a friendly a little while back. But as we were telling you, they won everything at home in the European Championships without conceding a single goal. Daniele De Rossi is going to come on in just a moment as well here. So the big guns are being wheeled on.
They're coming on. And again, if you're the U.S., hold your shape, hold your ground, and then catch them on the counter.
Jovinko. Needed to be careful, Bradley, there, and he did. He needed to stand up because any kind of challenge could have meant a penalty there. He's so quick, Jovinko.
So quick. Low center gravity, but again, third or fourth time in the last 5 minutes we've said Michael Bradley's been in the right spot at the right time to clean it up.
That's a blow to Italian pride, this, at the moment. The AC Milan right back Abate is also being lined up to come on, and that'll be all 6 substitutions by my reckoning. Used once those 2 come on. Changed more than half the team. Johnson plays it wide to Breck Shea. Here are those last 2 substitutions for Italy. Maggio is going to be replaced by Ignacio Abate of AC Milan, who scored against the USA in the under-23 Toulon tournament back in 2008. Only a second cap for Abate. And De Rossi, well, plenty more for him. This is his 71st, the Roma midfield player. Brian McBride, among those in the crowd. Just, we can't really see him. He's behind that rust-coloured bar, but you'll get the idea.
Yeah, and you talked to Brian McBride at training yesterday, and he talked about the whole experience of the 2006 World Cup. About 6-7 months after that, him and his wife came over, and he said he didn't really have to pay for a drink or a meal.
Yeah, they were genuinely sorry about it. So was De Rossi. He came, I think he went to the locker room, didn't he, and said sorry right after that, and was banned for 4 games of the World Cup and only came on for the last half an hour or so of the final.
No, and that stuff happens in games. When the player apologizes right away, you respect it.
Borini. Mind you, it was a bad offence.
Awful.
From De Rossi, a real rush of blood. Questions on for the United States. Knocked up towards De Rossi. Boccanegra won it in the air. Plenty of defending to do, I think, for the United States. Now Question just coming on. And it's going to be Breck Shea who makes way. There's the Anderlecht man. Just trying to sort the substitution out. I think the referee's going to wait, is he, for that before the corner takes place. Question called into the squad late. He's on now. Another corner. Dempsey doesn't think it was. Came off him, he's saying. You can lip read that.
It's a tough time to have a substitution. Kleshin's got to come in and make sure he knows what his mark is.
Goes a long way. Well, if the United States could hold on here, and that is a big if, you have to say, it would be, I think, a little landmark, wouldn't it, in the Jurgen Klinsmann era. It'd make the players believe even more in what he's trying to do. But it is a long way. Giovinco plays it in too long for Bazzini, who was in space. A better ball might have produced results there.
Much better ball would have produced a lot there, but Kleshin coming in back post in a good spot. Clint Dempsey's right. That ball going off the Italian player. Frustration. Stay composed, get a result.
Some 17 minutes separating the United States from what would be a historic victory here, and a very improbable and unlikely one. It's one of those situations there where if Italy got one, they'd fancy themselves to get 2. De Rossi will have to do better than that. ESPN's coverage of the Barclays Premier League continues on Saturday with a great game. Liverpool against Arsenal, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. The time to tune in, ESPN 2 and ESPN 3.
At some point, Ian, you got to think Jurgen Klinsmann and his staff are looking to bring someone on for Josie Altidore, whether it be Edson Buttle or Terrence Boyd, but bring in fresh legs, someone that's going to hold the ball and take some pressure off the back four.
It would be asking a lot of Boyd, wouldn't it, really, in this kind of situation away to Italy.
I'm done predicting what coaches are going to do, though.
I think we're done predicting the game. It's Montalivo. Daniele De Rossi. Back to Montalivo again. Now Abate. Ogbonna cuts inside, and well, it was speculative, and I think that was the kindest word.
Yeah, but again, if you're Tim Howard in the U.S., you'll take that. Jonathan
Spector, who's played 40 games for Birmingham City this season, is going to come on. He's been in good form. Birmingham pushing for a return to the English Premier League. And he is going to replace Fabian Johnson, who had another good game and was involved with the goal.
That's 2 games in a row. Fabian Johnson has shown well at 2 different positions. Very impressed with the young kid in tight spots, getting forward.
That's tonight's Gatorade Recover substitution, with Spector replacing Fabian Johnson. Goes straight to the left back roll, like for like switch. "26 tomorrow, Jonathan Spector. Birthdays all over the place, including yours.
You better be buying me a birthday cake later.
You already got one.
Yeah, but it wasn't from you.
Here's Barini. Boccanegra cuts it out. Giovinco again. Ogbona's cross. Pirlo. He'll be hoping they get a set piece. One of those free kicks. Abate. Danger here. And deflected away by Boccanegra, who gets a pat from his fellow defenders.
Oh, and Sasha Kleshin's caught here. Ball watching. Abate sneaks in behind, but Carlos Boccanegra, that's lucky that's not in the back of his own net.
But he wasn't.
Great play from Carlos.
Barini, chance here. Fantastic block from Spector, who closed him down in an instant. Otherwise, that was the equaliser, I think. What a start for Spector that was. There'll be some tired legs and minds for the United States now. And Altidor's hold-up play has been excellent in this second half, in particular. Any pressure he can take off the defence will be very welcome.
No, and he's just got to keep going because Terrence Boyd's coming off the bench.
Well, they're going to bring the 19-year-old on. Here's the goal again.
And it's a target forward by yourself, just getting in a good position, good first touch, but having the wherewithal to lay that off first time, allowing Dempsey to hit it. Such a good play from Josie Altidore. Clint will do the rest, but that's a good second half from Josie. Much stronger. Good assist.
And Boyd was telling us last night his hero is Clint Dempsey as he was growing up, and now he's going on to play just in front of him. This is amazing. He's making his debut for his country before he's made any club debut.
Yeah, but you heard Jurgen Klinsmann talk about Terrence Boyd and how active and strong he is for a young kid. Well, here you go.
Now that's quite extraordinary. Straight away, he wins a header. He's been getting plenty of goals in the reserve team for Borussia Dortmund, who are on top of the Bundesliga. So that's a hard first team to get into.
It is, but talking to Terrence yesterday, I've got problems with him being a Seattle Seahawks fan. He's got to work on that. He's got to come into this game, Ian, and be active. Coming in as a second half sub, up front, consistently stretch that back line, fight for 50-50 balls. Just do whatever he can to relieve pressure off the back four.
Boyd, whose father was an American serviceman, his mother German. Always spoke German at home, he said. Abate. Boccanegra is there, and it's deflected by Barini straight into the arms of a grateful Tim Howard. He wants that clean sheet now and that win, so does he.
Yeah, but you just get the feeling in the stadium, the movement from the Italians, putting pressure. U.S. has to have a little bit more possession here.
It is a bit of a smash and grab raid so far, but nobody's going to worry about that. I think any team that beats Italy away probably falls mostly into that category. There's a lot of defending to do, and you get the payoff for the good defending, staying in the game. Barini on the turn, blocked again by Spector. He's been bright since he came on, young Barini, for his debut.
He's had 2 huge blocks coming in. Just finding Bahraini inside that 18-yard box.
So many players to call on Italy, but that's been just about the case all through their history. And there's a player down injured here, and there will be a little respite. It's quite tense, this now, Taylor.
Sorry about that, Ian. Having a little...
Gremlins with the microphone.
Yes.
You're back with us now. Good.
I'm here.
Montolivo, the player, down. From the wonderful city of Florence, he plays his football for Fiorentina. Montolivo. That's how it happened. Here's a piece of news that won't surprise you. Lionel Messi's got a hat-trick for Argentina as they beat Switzerland by 3-1. England are losing 2-0 at home against Holland. Stuart Pearce doing a caretaker job for that game. There'll be highlights of that later on.
What planet is Messi from? You hear the score lines, you hear the stats, hat-tricks after hat-tricks. It's almost like he's playing a video game.
I'm very glad to tell you he's from this planet. Ogbonna towards Bahraini. Spector was there. Fresh pair of legs. Here's Pirlo. No foul there. Pirlo wanted it. Referee was right on the case. 2 yards away. Bradley's know-how and experience in that midfield important to gain tonight as well, but the job's not done, not by a long chalk. And it's Riccardo Montolivo again. Daniele Di Rossi. Ogbonna. Deep cross, quite easily defended really, but it's come straight out to Di Rossi. Did score against the US in the Confederations Cup in 2009. Di Rossi. Abate. Nope, too long. Di Rossi. I'll need to do better than that to unlock this good, tight US defense.
Particularly, Jonathan Spector's come into this game and been in good spots.
So they've never let in more than a single goal in any game since Jurgen Klinsmann took over. Apart from Slovenia. Yeah,
yep.
Yeah, one. Beg your pardon. It's Bahraini. Woo. Danny Williams working hard. They all have to. The US need to get the ball a little, you feel here. If they do, a break could be on, but it's Pirlo. Another Spector block. How many is that?
It's 3.
They're claiming a penalty here for a foul around the edge of the box on Giovinco, but the referee again was 3 yards away and not remotely interested. Chiellini. Goodson with the header this time. They're all heroes back there for the US at the moment. But can the wall hold? Abate breaking in behind, set up by Pirlo.
You can't allow Pirlo to have that much time to pick his head up and to knock just this little deft touch in behind the back four. U.S. doing a good job cleaning it up, but they got to start earlier.
Pirlo plays it in, and it's powered over by Chiellini, and the clock ticks on. Goodson. And Cherundolo there, the older heads, just a little word with Danny Williams. How big would this be, Taylor?
Huge.
The US can hold on here.
And you always hear the argument that results don't matter in friendlies, but it's nice to get some redemption for what you're doing, for the process you're going through. Italy on the road, I don't know if it gets much better than that. Still time left, though.
Decision's gone the American way.
Spector's done a wonderful job coming into this second half and just cleaning it up.
I'll say something, though, about Cesare Prandelli's team. There's a lot of talent here. They'll be a factor, I think, at the European Championships for sure.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
They might wind up, the way the draw's framed, playing England in the quarterfinals. Might. Everybody's got to qualify. The groups and every game is going to be tight, I think. Terrific competition. All live on the ESPN in the summer in Poland and the Ukraine. Montolivo here for Italy. It's getting a bit desperate for them now. Williams was fouled. That will give the US a bit of time.
Strong effort from Danny Williams. Bona on his back, just strong, knowing he really doesn't have an option other than himself. Drawing a foul.
Now there's a little knot of US fans here. You might have seen them in our opening just before the kickoff. It's a long way to come. I can see the flag away to my right out of your picture. It'll be worth the money if it stays like this, because it will be one of the greatest results in US history if it stays like this. If it stays like this. Here's Barzali. Italy will want to get the ball into forward areas as quickly as possible. They're never going to hit it long, though. It's not in the style. 1-2 chance of USA ringing around from the far end of the ground here in Genoa. Pirlo. The looping Obona can keep it in play. Giovinco inside. De Rossi trying a little touch there with a bit of flair around the edge of the box, but nobody really read it.
No, but Terrence Boyd being on the sideline, just holding the ball.
What a day to make your debut, though.
Unbelievable.
I mean, whatever happens in Terrence Boyd's career, he's never going to forget this, is he?
He's going to go back to the reserve team at Dortmund and say, really?
Knocked inside to Giovinco. Yet again, there's an American body in the way.
Well, at this point of the game, you're just throwing your body anywhere to get a touch.
Now here's Boyd. 2 against 2 here. Dempsey's up there with him. He rather lost control of it. Well, there was something on there if anybody had the legs to exploit it.
Yeah, Terrence just has to have an understanding. Go to the sideline, allow Sasha Kljestan to get forward, or knock Clint Dempsey in behind.
Complaint by Pirlo. He gives a very old-fashioned look to Terrence Boyd, who will know all about Pirlo and have seen him on TV and read about him and will wonder that he is on the same pitch as him.
Yeah, but at this point, you're not thinking about that. If you're Terrence, you're competing for every inch, fighting up front. Don't worry about that after the game.
Sorry, Taylor, 4 minutes of added time here, which is quite relevant to tell you. That might be a long 4 minutes. It might feel like 4 hours, I think, to the US players. And maybe to some of you at home. Here's Abate. Montolivo flicking it on. Pirlo again, looking for the right delivery. I think it was Goodson who won the header. Those two, him and Boccanegra, have been in exactly the right place so many times in this second half. They are manning the barricades back there. Good shout from Tim Howard, who'll go to ground, look at the maker's name on the ball, make sure it's the right blade of grass. This is the 92nd minute. Nearly there, but only nearly. It would too be a fourth consecutive win for the US after a slightly iffy start to Jurgen Klinsmann's reign. Montolivo, Daniele Di Rossi, Pazzini trying to turn, lays it off, Montolivo! And it was always just swinging wide. That might be the last chance.
Yeah, it looks to be. And again, give the back four a lot of credit, clogging it up. Montolivo just hitting it wide.
Edson Buddle is going to replace Clint Dempsey. That's just another device to eat up a bit more time.
Well, at one point, when Tim Howard knocked the ball forward, Clint Dempsey looked over to Jurgen Klinsmann. I think he was gassed. Another solid performance from Clint Dempsey.
More than solid, and a match winner by the look of it, too.
Yeah, but it's almost expected now from Clint. Just big time.
Buddle holds it up. Question lost it, and it's given the Italians maybe one last chance. Berini, Boccanegra. He's not having any of it. Well, they're going to celebrate this, I think, the American players. Almost like winning the World Cup when that whistle goes, which can't be far away, but there might still be one last opportunity if Ogbonna can get this ball in. They need to do it quite quickly now. Chiellini still alive. Montolivo with another long-range effort, which is deflected, but only into Tim Howard's body. I'm nervous watching this now. Foul by Boyd. They didn't really need that. They needed to hold it up in there if they could. Do the United States just fine. I think the referee's taken more than one glance at his watch here. Cesare Prandelli cannot believe it, really. Jurgen Klinsmann knows he's on the verge of something special. We've had well over the 4 minutes, or just over the 4 minutes now.
Yeah, the whistle's got to be after Timmy kicks us.
Yeah, he's got the whistle in his mouth, I think, the referee. It is over. The United States have beaten Italy for the first time in 82 years of trying at the 11th attempt. Also the first time Italy have ever lost a match in Genoa. Clint Dempsey with a historic match winner. What about that, Taylor Twellman?
It takes a special moment from a special player, and often all it takes is one. And Italy had the run of play, creating chances, but good hold-up play from Josie Altidore. And what do you know? Clint Dempsey knocking on the door, buries it. What a game.
Incredible stuff, but what heroic defending from, well, all of them back there tonight. Yeah. Cherundolo, Boccanegra, Goodson, Spector when he came on, Fabian Williams, Johnson was terrific, wasn't he?
Yeah, you're defending for your life, getting in the way, doing whatever you can to stop goals.
Okay, let's go back to the studio now with Bob Lee, Alexi Lala, Steve McManaman, who'll update a few interesting scores today from around the world, but one of the most interesting is right here. Italy 0, the United States of America 1.
You know, Ian, I don't think we'd be accused of being parochial, let's say, on a day when Leo Messi gets his first international hat trick, when Germany and England are losing at home, that the USA victory over Italy,
Relax.
in Italy,
Relax, Bob.
we grant you. All right, I know. Hold on now. We know it's a friendly. We know it's a friendly. It's an international friendly date. But that professional job of defending in the second half, the goal against the run of play, Josie Altidore, whom we talked at halftime,
Yeah.
Yes, you called him out.
That was critical of Josie.
Held the ball.
He held the ball, and he held the ball
go.
in the critical moment on the goal. I think second half was much better than the first. This was a great result. Now, you have to go back, and we talked about this before the game. The result is one thing, but actually going back and looking at that performance. You know why I think this is a great game? Because I think it showed Jurgen Klinsmann, whether he will admit it or not, that this is ultimately what the U.S. is about. And it's all fine and well to talk about being proactive and changing the way that we play. But we are who we are. And I can say we right now because I've been involved in the history for a long time. It doesn't mean you don't try to improve, but I think some pragmatism has crept into Jurgen Klinsmann saying this is maybe what is going to enable this team to get results, and we saw it here today.
Which means if you get a lead in a match such as this,
then defend,
you hold on
do
and
what,
you hold on.
what you do.
And Mac, what they did, and Michael Bradley,
Brilliant
substitution of Spector, had that brilliant block.
Yeah,
tremendous defensive effort.
There was huge pluses today, Bob, whether it be Josie Altidore, of course, Clint Dempsey, we mentioned before the game, in great goal-scoring form, Bradley, Maurice Edu, the defensive partnership at the end, Tim Howard, of course, made everything look easy. Jonathan Spector, when he came on, played his part. Huge pluses today. This, as I said at half-time, regardless of it being an international match, this is a very, very difficult game. Away at Italy, they've never won ever in the history of the sport. Italy haven't conceded in the European Championships. Full of confidence, the United States have got the right results, defended when they had to, and have come away with the victory. Great performance, great result.
And even after the goal, Michael Bradley was absolutely massive today. And
reading
yeah,
the
you know,
game,
you saw the way that he was able to defend at different times, but positionally, he wasn't flustered. He knew exactly where to be at different moments. When things did break down, he was in the right starting position to then go and find ways to break up plays and to win the ball. He was crucial today.
Playing for a team, Chievo, near the top of the table and having a very good season in Serie A. Out of contract, looking for a team, and basically having to reprove himself as a given frontline starter for this coach.
Yeah, I think this is a great day for Jurgen Klinsmann to look and to see how vital going forward Michael Bradley is going to be. Doesn't mean you still don't put pressure on him to continue to play well, but once again, going back, I don't think for a second that we can look at this game and look at this U.S. team and say this is a completely different way of playing and a completely different style, the way Jurgen Klinsmann has talked before. So maybe he also learned a valuable lesson today as well as the team.
Yeah, but there were his thumbprints on this lineup and yes, the philosophy and a great motivator of men.
Yeah, but, you know, could this result and this style of play not have happened 2 years ago or 5 years ago or anything like that? And I'm not saying that Jurgen Klinsmann isn't putting his mark on it, but what he wanted to do maybe 7 months ago, maybe he's coming to the realization that he might not have the players to do that. And it doesn't mean that he can't be successful.
Definitely.
And it doesn't mean that he can't improve this team.
By the way, if you think the Italian match was a good test, May 30th, Brazil will have that match. Let's get back to what happened today. If you missed any portion of it, Tim Howard and Gigi Buffon became the most capped keeper in Italian history. Early on, Tim Howard is there in the 4th minute. Critical save.
Yeah, great save from Thiago Motta, wasn't he? Arriving late, bit of a snapshot, but Tim does what he does best, and he is so solid in the goal, isn't he? He's very difficult to beat nowadays.
So that free kick, and then of course that attempt, and Howard is there once again.
Yeah, and the U.S. throughout the game gave plenty of time and plenty of opportunity to this man right here, Pirlo, who found consistently balls over the top. I mean, there were a lot of offside calls, some of them, but this was the moment that people will remember for a long time. And it came from Josie Altidore holding the ball up top and finding that man, Clint Dempsey, who is just on fire, and he does not miss from there.
Now that goal in the 55th minute, and then a matter of holding on for the U.S. defense.
Yeah, again, snapshot, wasn't it, from Barini, but again, right down, nice and straight at Tim Howard. They have to be careful at this position on the park. Kleston come on, but again, a little bit of inexperience getting caught in and behind. But all in all, a wonderful, wonderful performance defensively, as well as getting the goal that they richly deserve.
He's got a pair of hat tricks for his club side Fulham, one in league play, one in cup play, and the goal today, 25, moving in front of Joe Maxmore on the all-time parade. Again, if you joined us along the way, Landon Donovan not available to the United States, did not even make the trip. his unavailability, meaning Breck Shea got the start today, and on this, and Brian McBride there to watch that, and how that must have gladdened Brian's heart to sit in the stands with Mike Piazza today and watch this result.
Yeah, I mean, it was a wonderful, historic result that Brian McBride and everybody else that watched it both live and in the stands can take home and say the U.S. beat Italy in Italy. And I know it's a friendly game, but it will go a long way in terms of the confidence. And when Jurgen Klinsmann does look at his team and still ask them to do some things that maybe they're not comfortable with, this type of game can provide the confidence to say, hey, you went out and beat Italy.
Buy in. Clint Dempsey, a great talent, obviously. And as Ian mentioned late in the match, as Taylor did as well, a lot is expected in a game such as this. He delivered today. Afterwards, he spoke with our duo in Genoa.
Clint, what a fantastic result. You getting the winning goal. Now, what does that result mean for United States soccer?
It's just a confidence builder. You know, we're just trying to move in the right direction, trying to get sharp as we can for the summer for the World Cup qualifying games. Because the goal is to qualify for the World Cup. So it's important to come to places like this and play big teams on their own soil and get results. And at times it wasn't pretty, but we grounded out the result tonight.
Clint, take us through the goal and what you saw with Josie Altidore holding the ball up in the run you made.
Yeah, it was a good ball in. It was chipped to him. Initially, I was going to stay where I was and have him lay it back to me, but I saw the guy was covering, so I tried to move to my right to try to get open so he could play me the ball. Did a great job of holding it up, playing me, and I just try to hit it low and hard far post, and, you know, went in.
Clint, do you think this result proves that the United States are certainly moving in the right direction now and closing the gap between the U.S. and the elite nations?
Yeah, I mean, it's a work in progress. We're trying to get there. I mean, for good spells, we were under it today, you know, having to defend a lot, especially in the second half. But when we got the ball, we did show quality. I think it's just doing a better job of being on the front foot, keeping the ball, playing with confidence. And, you know, the more chances we create, the more goals we're going to get. But, yeah, I like to think that we're closing the gap. And, you know, hopefully one day we can do something special.
Clint, talk about the role you played tonight underneath Josie Altidore and how comfortable you were.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I get an attack, it's a role that I enjoy. I just try to, you know, play off of him as much as I could. At the same time, when we have possession, trying to tuck back, get into those channels, get in those spaces for Michael and Mo to find me. But also defensively, you know, shadow Pirlo, because every time he got on the ball, he was just, you know, pinging him for fun, finding his men. So just try to frustrate him a little bit because he's, you know, he's a great player. And, you know, at times I was able to do that, but at times I wasn't. It was a little bit of a workout tonight, but we got the result.
First ever win for the U.S. over Italy. Clint, many thanks and congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Well done, kid.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Birthday greetings for Taylor Twellman, who was a leap year baby. Of course, always doing.
As if we didn't know.
A few times mentioned during the match. Boy, the pride of Nacogdoches, who was tearing up Craven Cottage. When this scoreline hits Twitter, hits the wires, hits Google around the world, and yeah, we try and put it in perspective with other events that happened today. How will Europeans look at this?
I think they'll look at it as the result that it was, a very good result. The Italians are gearing up for the Euros. They want to be recognised as a major force in European football. And I don't think they caused the USA too many problems today. The good thing for me is that the USA side performed very well. Defensively, they were strong, but they've also got things to work on. You know, down the left-hand side, they were caught a couple of times, whether it be Breck Shea or whether it be Sasha Closton when he came on. So that is something to work on, something to take from the game. But defensively and the way they were organised, they were so strong. So when it takes them into the World Cup qualifiers, already they've got a firm, solid base to go forward and beat the lesser sides. But their confidence must be brimming with that result this afternoon.
But I think there'll be some perspective, though.
Yes.
I think that
Yeah.
both on
Was
both
it
sides,
friendly?
for the U.S. and for Italy. And for the Italians, I think that they will look at this and say, couldn't finish. And they're missing some attacking players up there. Lots of offside, as we said. At some point, those things go in. So the creation of the opportunities was there, but the Italians tomorrow will be screaming and yelling.
Maybe we needed Balotelli. Temperament or not, huh? Not selected to the team. We mentioned qualification. It starts in 100 days. But before the United States gets there, friendly against Scotland, the match on ESPN against Brazil. That'll be in Landover, Maryland. Then a match against Canada, another friendly, and then the business end of this year for the U.S. national team. And yes, in the group with Antigua and Barbuda, and then the match at Guatemala. That June 8th match, the same day the European Championships begin. So it's all at hand. The good hands, The All-State good hand save of the day. We talked about Tim Howard, who put up a clean sheet against Italia. This came early on as Howard made a critical save, actually the leg save. The attempt, the Italian so dangerous so early, keeping the U.S. level. The USA with a historic victory. We've got finals and highlights from around the world as we continue.
It's the LensCrafters semi-annual lens event. That's 50% off lenses, including bifocals, no lines, even sunglasses made with your prescription. So hurry in. 50% off lenses won't last forever. LensCrafters.
We didn't have to make safety features like active head restraints, brake assist, and an enhanced accident response system standard in every Chrysler 200. No one would know if we didn't, but we would have. And for us, the things you do when no one is looking are the things that define you.
While some fiber ads use supermodels, Metamucil uses super hard-working psyllium fiber, which gels to remove unsexy waste and reduce cholesterol. Taking psyllium fiber won't make you a model, but you should feel a little more super. Metamucil, down with cholesterol.
That was right in my wheelhouse. That was right in my wheelhouse.
Tired of chasing balls? Get a Wheelhouse batting cage and start working to develop hitting skills right in your backyard. Wheelhouse cages are affordable, durable, and easy to assemble. Order yours today at cagesplus.com.
Yeah, that was right in my wheelhouse.
The news is so shocking, it is difficult to absorb it.
The guy was the king of LA.
He said, Irvin, I have some news to tell you. That was the first time I cried.
What if I told you that on November 7th, 1991, everyone knew someone positive? ESPN Films presents The Announcement, directed by Nelson George, Sunday, March 11th at 9 on ESPN.
Dish Network can claim what they want, but America consistently chooses DirecTV. For the best television experience, DirecTV beats Dish hands down. But don't just take our word for it. Over the last 3 years, for every customer Dish gained, DirecTV gained 8 times more. In fact, more people chose DirecTV last year than all cable and satellite companies combined. Sorry, Dish, 30 million customers can't be wrong. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV.
Last chance for DirecTV Cinema's spring offer. Check it out. Get over $10 back when you order any 4 movies this month, like Happy Feet 2.
Let's shake this world.
Yes, indeed. The Descendants.
I'd like to know who the guy is that my wife was seeing.
The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
I want you to help me catch a killer of women.
And The Muppets.
We are the Muppets.
That is awesome.
Good grief.
Last chance to get over $10 back when you order any 4 movies. DirecTV Cinema, starting at channel 125.
International Day. France and Germany. 20th minute. Mathieu Dubochy will get it going on the break and crosses into Olivier Giroud, and he puts it right through the legs of the keeper, Tim Wiese. France takes a 1-0 lead. 68th minute. Giroud gets it going. Wow. Very happy. Florent Malouda. Got to look at that Malouda goal, and France out to the 2-0 lead. Final France in Germany with a 2-1 win. Then England and Netherlands. We're at Wembley. Would somebody please, Macca, did anyone want to shut down Arjen Robben on this first goal?
Look where he picks the ball up from, Bob. I could have closed him down, and I'm in the United States.
You take it. I'll take it.
Look,
no,
you have him, I'll have him, you have him. No. Let him go on his left foot, which we all know is his strongest foot. Smashes it past Joe Hart, give them the deserved lead.
Only minutes later, Dirk Kuyt with the cross. Huntelaar with a clash of heads. 2-0 the Dutch, but Huntelaar colliding with Chris Smalling. Blood, guys down. This was very bloody and very scary.
Lovely header, wasn't it? Very brave. Smalling got carried off. Hopefully he'll be okay, as you can see. Huntelaar walked off. He seemed to be all right, thankfully.
There's a delay of about 15 minutes. And then Tim Cahill in the box, bring England back within a goal. And then Ashley Young plays it off.
Oh,
nice combination play. It was 2-2, so now the English have come back, and then Robin for the Dutch.
Left foot, left foot, left foot, left foot.
You kind of know what's coming, huh?
How many times?
At Wembley, the Dutch defeat the English. Who will manage England this summer? All right, Venezuela and Spain. Cesc Fabregas gets it going in the 37th minute to Iniesta. By Spanish standards, a fairly simple goal.
Yeah, what's with the kit today? The change of kit.
Yeah.
Spanish in the...
And a drive the commercial market, Macca. Yeah. And then Fabregas drops it for David Silva in the 40th minute.
That's more like it.
That's Spanish.
See, the English lose, the Germans lose. How come Spain never lose?
The
Spain
Italians
always
lost
win.
as well as I think.
Exactly. Spain always win.
Well, you know, someone probably will walk away from 3 points. It'd be interesting if your Liverpool lads could do that. Liverpool-Arsenal. ESPN2 action from the EPL, 7:30 Eastern Saturday. Reminder on that match. We step aside. We'll close up shop in just a moment.
I saw the lack of focus, the burgers, the fries, goofing off. Then I saw the change. I saw him commit to eating properly and training harder. And then I saw him become the fastest swimmer in the world.
Trying to get there. Lochte in front. Lochte the gold and the world record.
You win from within.
I'm a satellite dish. The only reason you got me was to watch soccer. But for today's game, I'm a little fuzzy. So you tried to fix me. But you just made me loose. Newsflash. If you have cut rate insurance, you might not be covered for this. So get Allstate and protect your house and car from mayhem like me.
Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate.
I'll give you C.J. Wilson and Pavlov for Prince Fielder. Throw Brett Gardner, you got a deal. I can't give up Gardner. I'll give you Sabathia and Beltray for Fielder. How about Rafael Perkov? You got a deal.
ESPN Fantasy Baseball. Sign up for free at ESPN.com.
Let's compare technology on Dish and DirecTV. DirecTV has 7 Emmy Awards for technical achievement, and Dish 1. And now DirecTV offers a high-definition DVR with TiVo, and Dish doesn't. Only DirecTV combines TiVo's unique interface and integrated search with our award-winning interactive features. Number 1 in technology. Another reason 30 million people agree. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV.
Sunday, built to strike. Built to attack. Built for speed. Built for the hunt. Built to feast. Built to chomp. Predators aren't born. They are built for the kill. All week long, starting Sunday at 9 on Nat Geo Wild, Channel 283.
Major League Soccer's back. First kick Monday evening, March 12th, 9:30. Portland Timbers and Philadelphia as we kick up our season-long coverage of MLS here on ESPN. The long winter for MLS is over. A long wait. First kick. We'll see you for that match. Well, Germany lose at home, England lose at home, Italy lose at home, courtesy of the United States of America. United States with their first ever victory over Italy. All right, we search for perspective, keeping our feet on the ground, but the takeaway from this game is...
Result, wonderful. It's going to go around the world and people are going to see it, but I think it's also a positive reality check for Jurgen Klinsmann and for this team. You know, you have to improve and you have to try to improve, but don't try to be something that you're not and play completely different than you're used to. I think they reverted back in a good way. This is what the U.S. is about.
They barricaded when they had to down the end, and that's the way you win a match like this. And it was a step. How big a step was this match?
I think it was a big step, Bob. I think in confidence, which they can grow. They've had difficult games away from home in Paris, in Belgium, in Slovenia, where they won. I think it was a great victory today. They won't meet teams of this kind of calibre. So if they can get results against Italy, they can get results going into the World Cup qualifiers.
And Clint Dempsey with the second-half goal against the run of play. For the first time, the United States with the victory over Italy. 100 days to the beginning of the European Championships here on ESPN. 100 days to the beginning of U.S. World Cup qualification, and a major step today with a victory against Italy. Sports Nation's next.
Wade didn't at all go for a hard foul. He went to wrap his arms up and, accidentally hit him in the nose and, hurt a fracture. So, I mean, D-Wade didn't mean that intentionally. He meant to foul him, but he didn't mean a hard foul like that.
Sports Nation is presented by Toyota.
Hello, Nation. I'm Colin Coward, Michelle Beadle at Sports Nation, a show that loves seeing LeBron stand up for his teammate.
You don't know what he meant to do, didn't mean to do.
I'll tell you right now, this LeBron, he's becoming one of my faves.
I'll be honest, I was bummed yesterday when news came out that Dwayne Wade apologized. I didn't want him to.
Well,
I was bummed.
I knew you'd be bummed.
Yeah.
I was bummed for a different reason. Well, maybe not the same.
Think about that while I go on this.
Yeah, let me think about that.
First up, Wade's whack. It was a foul heard around the world by D-Wade on Sunday at the All-Star game. There it is. Kobe with his broken nose and now a concussion. He is game time for tonight's game. Take a listen to what Pau Gasol had to say yesterday about the hard foul.
I think it was out of place, out of line for the moment in the game that it was. But I don't think he intended to break his nose. It was just try to foul him kind of hard there, and I got his nose. But again, I don't think it was a place to foul like that.
Wow, such judgment. On Sunday, the Lakers faced the Heat. Should the Lakers retaliate?
No.
Think about it. Come on, Colin.
No. I mean, okay, let's see. So
Hopefully
you
he's
retaliate,
playing.
and there's fines and suspensions. You really got him. Why would the Lakers risk retaliation? Somebody gets suspended, and in a playoff race where you don't want to be 8th because you have to play Oklahoma City, what's the point of retaliation? Kobe and Wade are old pros. It's part of the game.
Yeah, but this is, in a perfect world, the retaliation will be that Kobe's on the court and that Kobe is old Kobe. And when you anger him, he comes back and drops 40 on you. And that's what I'm hoping happens on Sunday.
But what are you talking about, retaliation?
See, I love retaliation. That's why I think hockey has such a good tradition. You know, you have our guy. It doesn't matter if we don't see you again for 2-3 weeks. We remember it.
Yeah.
And we're going to get even once we get out there. But there's a place in it in hockey. They have it built in. You get a penalty, you come back.
But in the playoffs, they don't do
they
that. Why don't they fight in the playoffs? Because you need your stars on the
Andrew
ice.
Bynum, he's been
I just
he took JJ Barea out.
The loser in retaliation is the second guy who throws the second punch.
Should the Lakers retaliate? God, everyone's so mature today.
I love it.
I don't.
Next up is Mark the Man. Jets have a good young quarterback in Mark Sanchez if they'd support him. Treating him like a bum. Yesterday, GM Mike Tannenbaum was on ESPN Radio in New York and was asked about his quarterback situation. And this is just stunning to me. It's just stunning to me. Take a listen.
We always try to improve the team. With that said, I expect Mark Sanchez to be our quarterback next year. But when we have opportunities to improve our team, that's what we're going to do.
Oh, that little word, but. Such a big word, isn't it?
So, Beebs, are they making a mistake the way they're treating Sanchez?
They're not.
So
Look,
you're okay with it?
No, here's the deal. What do you get mad at us for doing with Tim Tebow? What do you say we do?
Holding his hand.
Babying him, holding his hand, which is exactly what you want us to do with a Mark Sanchez right now, which I don't understand because he's going into his 4th year in New York.
With Sanchez, it's not babysitting. He could use a little support. The media kills him. Rex Ryan called him stupid. The fans kill him.
He said it was one of the stupidest plays he's ever seen. Why do you keep making it sound like he called Mark a stupid person?
He goes, our quarterback made one of the stupidest
plays he's ever seen.
Well,
you
said
Mark some
Sanchez.
of the stupidest things I've ever heard. I don't think you're stupid.
I don't remember those.
Yeah, well.
The point is, the New York Giants, Eli Manning, 4 years in, had a lower completion percentage than Sanchez and a lower quarterback rating and had 75 touchdowns and 68 picks, and they supported him because the Giants know how to support a young quarterback.
All Tannenbaum is saying, and if you're the head of any company or you're in charge of anything, is that if we have an opportunity to make our product better, we're going to do that. And if Peyton Manning is that way, then what's the problem?
Where does Mark Sanchez in that entire city turn for support?
I can't
Fans
answer
no,
that right
media
now.
no, GM no, coach no, quarterback no.
Thank you. I don't even know what the question was. It's not a mistake.
If you say
cheating in this
anything
way.
bad about Tebow, you're a bad guy.
And you hate that.
Sanchez gets no
When
support.
did we switch on Mark Sanchez? Next up, dunk disaster. This is last year's dunk contest. Remember Blake Griffin over the car. It was awesome. However, this year he chose not to compete. The dunk contest was terrible. Yesterday, Blake said the reason none of the big stars want to compete is that it's too much of a time commitment. He said, quote, "It's an all-day deal Friday, and it's most of the day on Saturday, and then you're there all night." I can't even believe I just said those words out loud. I want to slap myself. Was that a good Are you
Yes.
spoiled much? Really?
First of all,
Really?
it's called an all-star break.
Hey, Clippers, it's called May. You'll have all of that off, and summer. Let's not worry about it.
It's called an all-star break, and everybody except the stars who work the hardest get the break.
Oh, then you know what? Refuse your place on the All-Star team and go on your vacation like a Joakim Noah does, and don't be a part of it at all.
That's
if it's
fine.
such a time
By the way,
commitment.
that's what's happened to the NFL in the
Blake
Pro
Griffin
Bowl.
is taking PR moves from a LeBron James right now. These are not the types of things you say out loud, ever.
Okay, but the reality is Jeter missed an All-Star game. Brady won't go to the Pro Bowl. Troy Aikman didn't want to go. There's a reason for it.
Right.
Some things
But they're
in
going.
life are no longer worth the time.
They are going. And then we heard LeBron say, oh, put $1 million out at half court, and we'll see how that changes. If that's what it has to be, put money on it, go to a charity, do whatever. But to come out there, and then he went on to say, you got to leave 3 or 4 hours before everyone else and take pictures with people.
First of all, so listen, I understand, like, if you're a rookie or young like Blake Griffin, I think you should go.
Yeah.
But for a guy that's gone 11, 12, 13, 14 times, can I give you an example?
We're asking for the dunk contest. That's what we're asking for.
These guys need a break. Let me give you an example. In 1978, it's like winning Employee of the Month. Month after month after month. In 1978,
oh my Lord,
I was the Hamburger Hut's Employee of the Month in January.
Wow.
But I won it 12 straight months.
Good for you.
Okay, by the end of the month, I barely wanted to be Hamburger Hut and Lake Chelan's Employee of the Month. Anytime you win something over and over and over, or are invited to something, it gets less special over time.
I'm sorry, how long's Blake Griffin been in the league now?
I'm okay with him, just like me in January at the Hamburger Hut.
Good or lame excuse on the part of one Blake Griffin. I was embarrassed for him. He's going to regret that he ever said those words.
It's easy to say it's all about the fans, but you know what?
Then don't go at all. Don't take part on Sunday.
By the way, that's what they do in the NFL.
Because it's not
Fans
like they're home resting. They're at parties. They host. Give me a break. One cheer for JaVale McGee. Wizards, Bucks. This is what are we calling that now? We got to come up with a new word because it's not a dunk.
Nice throw.
Is it a throw?
I got to tell you, Blake and this guy, they kind of lead the league in throwing.
We have to come up with something. We got to put our creative team on that. 2 cheers for Isaiah Sykes, Central Florida, and Memphis on the break. Left-handed over Stephens.
To me, the definition of a jam.
Ooh, stared him down.
A, you do it over somebody.
Okay.
And B, you hang on the tin for a
But
second.
I like the after stare. That's icing on the cake.
Party.
Yeah, cheers. Okay. For Gary Harris, I saw this morning, Indiana high school basketball. This is the state tournament. Michigan State commit already. He's committed. Gary Harris. He banks the 40-footer. They get the win.
This is like Hoosiers, but the dudes can play.
I mean, this for the win. I don't know. I can't decide if he's super confident or in shock. I'm going to go with shock on that one. February 29th, along with Leap Day William, we are celebrating this once every 4-year event.
Coming up in the show, the 5 greatest leaps of the last year.
Sports Nation is presented by Toyota.
What do I want? I want horsepower. Cleaner horsepower. I want power that dominates the road. And fuel efficiency that respects the earth. Give me 43 miles per gallon and the rush of 200 horsepower. What I want is the best of both worlds.
Introducing the reinvented 2012 Camry Hybrid from Toyota.
At Pizza Hut, big time value lives inside the box. Introducing Pizza Hut's new $10 dinner box. For only $10, you get one huge box filled with 3 of your favorites, including a medium pizza loaded with your favorite topping, 5 freshly baked breadsticks served with a cup of marinara sauce for dipping, and 10 cinnamon sticks dusted with cinnamon and sugar, complete with their own sweet icing cup. And you get all these favorites for only $10, but only at your Pizza Hut.
Linens and duvet washed fresh for every guest. Real value from your friends at Hampton.
And we have a late entry, Mr. Quigley.
Is he wearing running shoes?
And they're off. It's Queen's Hurricane out front. But wait, it's gonna be Quigley! What?
I'm gonna do it like this.
The new lightweight midfoot strike Skechers Go Run.
Emily's just starting out and on a budget. Like a ramen noodle every night budget. She thought Allstate car insurance was out of her reach until she heard about the value plan. Dollar per dollar, nobody protects you like Allstate.
How durable is Quaker State? Reach 300,000 miles with eligible Quaker State motor oils, and we'll give you a check for the Kelly Blue Book trade-in value of your car. Quaker State, real, durable oil.
ESPN, the home court of college hoops.
For the win! Yes!
The great moments.
Oh, man!
Just keep on coming.
Syracuse undefeated no more.
And College Game Day is right in the thick of it.
This is not just a regular game. This is a huge game. How can you lose in this atmosphere?
Saturdays on ESPN and ESPNU.
The guy was the king of LA.
What if I told you that on November 7th, 1991, everyone knew someone positive? ESPN Films presents The Announcement, Sunday, March 11th at 9 on ESPN.
Welcome back to Sports Nation, presented by Toyota.
Welcome back, people. We're going to play a little game now. We're actually going to watch some greatness unfold because joining Colin is Tom Penn, who's back for a game called Sports Nation's Scale of 1 to 10.
And I'm bringing it today. Now, yesterday I called you a finesse executive, and I think you took exception to it.
That hurt.
So you got to bring your A stuff today. You got to be more physical.
I'm in. Bring it on.
Here we go.
He brought his tie back, Colin. Which
I
he's
saw
not
that.
messing around. So let's
Very
get to
formidable.
it. The Lakers are up first. They are not happy with the injury inflicted on their star. Pau Gasol said Dwayne Wade's foul on Kobe Bryant in the All-Star game was out of place and out of line. Andrew Bynum added that it was crazy and he didn't understand what it was all about. Oh, Andrew. The Heat face the Lakers on Sunday. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much will the Kobe drama carry over into the game against the Heat?
I think it's a low number. I think you're talking about some of the smartest players in the league. Dwayne Wade, Kobe Bryant. You're talking about teams fighting for playoff position. The idea that Kobe would risk a fine or a suspension. Wow. These are tough players. They're really smart players. There's no value in getting suspended and doing something chippy.
Yeah, we're talking drama, not violence, right? The drama's going to be there for sure. Look, your guy punches my guy literally in the nose, and I'm going to forget about it. Two dramas. Number one, will he be back? All right? And you knowing Kobe Bryant, he's going to be back. He's got to go through this concussion process. Right. Number two, will they have his back? I mean, them's fighting words from Powell.
So you really think it'll be a chippy, scrappy?
I think it's going to be more dramatic and much more meaningful. You mentioned the playoff hunt. Well, now it's going to be more physical. They're going to get after it.
All right.
Thank you, Tom, for bringing some sense into an otherwise ridiculous argument.
You're welcome.
There's a reason we put you over there with the crowd.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much will this drama
Come on,
carry?
America.
Colin is way low on that scale. Switzerland.
That felt like a win for me.
That feels like a win for no one.
All right, here we go. Next up.
Nothing. We're going to stick with the Kobe topic. In addition to the nasal fracture, he also suffered that concussion. Will be reevaluated tomorrow, listed as day-to-day. Now, he needs to be cleared by the league in order to actually get into the game tonight against the T-Wolves. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much would a short-term loss of Kobe hurt L.A.? Tom, you're up first.
Ooh, this is going to help L.A. I know. Kobe takes all the shots. He's got all the minutes. He's the leader in usage rate, which means the ball finishes with him all the time. But this is an opportunity for the other guys to get their swagger, to show Kobe they have his back, and to score the ball. They're the worst scoring bench team in the league. Easily. Let's get these guys back on track. Without Kobe, when he comes back, they're a better team, more well-rounded. Good opportunity.
That just didn't make sense. Okay, first of all, it's Kobe Bryant. First of all, of the Lakers' many ills. There have been teams where I agree with you in Lakerdom, but of this Lakers.